Naruto, who was still basking in joy. Hearing Sasuke say such a sentence suddenly, he was a little puzzled. You said we'll meet next time? Sasuke smiled. Naruto sensed something was wrong. Sasuke, where are you going? Hearing this, Sasuke raised his finger and pointed to the sky. Didn't I tell you before? I'm going to find the Otsutsuki clan. Looking for Otsutsuki family. Everyone is dumbfounded. Try to find? Just look for it? Where can I look for it? Didn't the Otsutsuki family come from outside the world, from the universe? Could it be that Sasuke wants to? Sasuke, do you want to leave the ninja world? Do you know where the Otsutsuki clan is in the universe? It seems that Naruto has misunderstood. What Sasuke said about going to the top is not to go to the universe, but to go to the moon. After all, the Otsutsuki clan still existed in this period on the moon. These guys are going to die anyway, and it's better to die by Sasuke's hands than by their own hands. At least in the hands of Sasuke, Sasuke can still make them useful. In this so-called Tensigan, Sasuke is also looking forward to it. Relying on the spirit of the gods, it should be able to directly strip the power of Tensigan. Integrate into your own Sharingan. As for finding the real Otsutsuki family, they are naturally not these people. The only people who can truly be called the Otsutsuki family are Jinshi, Momoshi, Pushi, Yishi and others. So Sasuke has to go to other places, but before going, the problem on the ball must be solved first. Maybe I know, Sasuke replied with a smile. Hearing this answer, Naruto was stunned for a moment. What is called knowing? Knowing is knowing. Maybe knowing is what kind of answer? Sasuke, you stay. We fight against the Otsutsuki clan together. With you, we can guarantee the safety of the ninja world. Hear Naruto's invitation. Sasuke sighed. Guard the ninja world. What a great mission, but I'll forget it. I'm not suitable for guarding the ninja world. I'd rather be a destroyer than an avenger. The Avengers. Destroyer. Naruto froze for a moment. He understood what Sasuke meant. Sasuke didn't want to blindly defend. Sasuke was more inclined to take the initiative to attack. This is indeed in line with Sasuke's character. Naruto is very helpless. Sasuke, do you really have to? Without waiting for Naruto to finish speaking, Sasuke stepped forward and floated in the air. Kimimaro and Shigego quickly followed. Sasuke lifted up slowly and looked at Naruto below. Correct. Otsutsuki Kagaya, I stripped her of her Otsutsuki clan identity and let her live her life as a common person. This woman is pitiful. The reason why the ninja world has become like this is because she was betrayed. Saying that, Sasuke smiled at Naruto. How to deal with this woman, you decide for yourself. After saying that, Sasuke turned his head and flew straight towards the moon. Naruto was left blank. Kagaya. Otsutsuki Kagaya. Was given by Sasuke, resurrected? Sage of Six Paths was also stunned. My mother was deprived of the identity of the Otsutsuki clan. What does that mean? Reminiscent of Sasuke just casually snatching Hashirama's blood succession boundary. Could it be that Sasuke can easily take the power of others? Even the uprooted kind. Thinking of this, the expression on Sage of Six Paths' face is also very exciting. Mother. Sage of Six Paths looked in a certain direction, and at the moment Kagaya by the sea was watching the ebb and flow of the tide. That's how it feels. Peaceful. Comfortable. Don't worry about tomorrow, don't worry about the future. Together, everything returned to what she had hoped for in the first place. A smile appeared on Kaguya's face. At this moment, the figure of Sage of Six Paths slowly appeared behind her. Sasuke finally said that she was betrayed. Is this herself? Naruto also came here to see Kagaya, who really changed into a common. Gently sighed. Naruto. Suddenly Tsunade stopped Naruto. Naruto looked back at Tsunade. You will be the sixth Hokage. Suddenly Naruto was stunned. He didn't understand. What does this mean? Get yourself Hokage, seriously? Congratulations, sixth Hokage. Konoha's 12 Shaoqiangs all looked at Naruto and smiled. However, at this time Naruto sighed, looking at the sky. Sasuke who left. If Sasuke hadn't left Konoha, I'm afraid Hokage's candidate would never be his turn. No matter in terms of strength or anything else, Sasuke is too suitable. Sasuke. In the end, was he still taken care of by you? On the moon at this moment, Sasuke came to the palace of the Otsutsuki clan. Encountered a lot of resistance along the way, but without Sasuke's shot, Kimimaro and Shigego could easily handle it. I didn't expect there to be people on the moon? Chongo smiled. Sasuke in front suddenly stopped and said, "The Gedo statue was placed on the moon from the beginning." Hearing this, Kimimaro frowned. Then how did he get sent to the ninja world? The Rinnegan can summon the Gedo statue. Kimimaro snapped the neck of one of the Otsutsuki tribe. Sasuke came to the gate of the palace and stepped back to open the gate. Inside is a giant gold eyeball. That's what Sasuke came to the moon for, Tensigan of gold. The first time they looked at this thing, both Kimimaro and Shigego showed serious expressions. The pupil power contained in it is very strong. What kind of eyes are these? They are so huge. The appearance is just a carrier. The reason why this thing has powerful pupils is because these people on the moon sacrificed their white eyes. Sacrifice your own eyes? Hearing this kind of words, both Kimimaro and Shigego were a little terrified. This is too hateful. He was willing to sacrifice his own eyes. Sasuke raised his hand against the gold Tensigan in the distance. God Spirit, activate. In an instant, the silk thread erupting from Sasuke's body wrapped around gold Tensigan. Of course, although Sasuke can see the silk thread activated by the spirit of the god, but for others there is nothing at all. It looks like Sasuke is gathering Tensigan's power out of thin air. Continually gather a little bit of golden light onto the hand. Soon a cloud of gold's light bombs formed. It was directly integrated into his body by Sasuke. The moment when the light melted into Sasuke's body, Sasuke's right eye began to change. A strange light shone. The whites of the eyes are turning gray. And what is even more amazing is Sasuke's Guyu, which seems to have added too. Baguyu Sharingan appeared. And the left eye is the Sharingan of Luguyu. The number of hook jade in the two eyes is completely different. One eye, the white of the eye is gray and the other eye is black. One black and one white, it seems a bit weird. When the two eyes of Hitomi Jutsu open Mangekyo Sharingan, the pattern seems to have Chabalong as well. No matter how the eyes change, the most obvious thing Sasuke feels is that the power of the pupils has increased dramatically. This feeling of sharp increase in pupil power, it's so cool. However, when Sasuke was enjoying the comfort of this pupil power enhancement, suddenly the system beeped. Congratulations to host, Otsutsuki power upgrade. The power of Otsutsuki, Phase 2, the power of Otsutsuki, which has been promoted to the second stage, made Sasuke suddenly feel as if his body suddenly swelled up. Immediately after, under the interaction of various forces in the body, this swelling feeling quickly disappeared. In a blink of an eye, the purple light chakra was formed. There are more Sasuke Zigwang chakra now. If the previous Sasuke purple light chakra is just like a sphere with a diameter of about 1 meter. So now the diameter has exploded to 3 meters. With this amount of purple light chakra, Sasuke can unleash various attacks at will. At the same time, the recovery speed of Zigwang chakra will also be greatly enhanced. Chakra, which was used as a permanent skill by the Otsutsuki clan, has become a one-time thing here in Sasuke. Anyway, Sasuke can continue to recover. It doesn't matter if all the purple light chakra is exhausted. Master Sasuke. Kimimaro felt Sasuke's breath surge. Seeing that Sasuke had closed his eyes and meditated for a long time, he couldn't help calling him. And when Sasuke opened his eyes, the powerful pupil power involuntarily spread out. Junma Chuan seemed to be hit by a terrifying force. The whole person retreated a distance of more than 10 meters. Shigego looked at Sasuke in surprise. Why did the good Sasuke-sama do something to Kimimaro? What is this going to do? Kill Kimimaro too? Sorry, the strength has increased too much, and I can't control it for a while. Said Sasuke showed a very sorry look. And Kimimaro shook his head. It's okay Sasuke-sama, are you okay? Very good. Never been better, to be precise. The power of Otsutsuki has been upgraded to the second stage, and this feeling makes Sasuke unable to stop. Now the 5 dungeon nature transformation, yin-yang nature transformation, plus various ninjutsu blood succession limits have all been upgraded to the top level. Sasuke originally thought that he wanted to improve because he had nothing else to do. But now it seems that there are still many things worth improving. The first is the new Uchiha bloodline, Freshman Sharingan, Phase 2. The new bloodline evolved from Otsutsuki's bloodline and human bloodline, with the meager power of human bloodline, suppressed the super strong bloodline born from Otsutsuki's bloodline. Pupil power far exceeds that of ordinary Mangekyo or Rinnegan. Bayan weight. Every time you upgrade a stage, add 1 tomo. Currently in the second stage, on the basis of the original 6 hook jades, 1 more hook jade will be added. Newborn Sharingan has a special type, the first form, Dogoyu Sharingan, which can use special pupil techniques such as God Mingling, Dahishin, and Xiaoming Vaguna. Second type, Heresy Mangekyo Sharingan pupil technique can be used, and the pupil technique is enhanced. Amaterasu, Flame Control. Now there are only 2 of my pupil skills. However, it is impossible for Sasuke to have only 2 pupil techniques. He took out a scroll from the storage wristband on his arm. Sasuke freed the contents of the scroll. In the next second, a test tube with one eye appeared in front of Sasuke. The Sharingan inside is Shisui's illusion eye. Now use the spirit of the gods to peel it off and then merge it into my own eyes, then the strongest illusion, distinguished heavenly gods, will be my own. Congratulations to host for getting the new pupil technique. Distinguished heavenly gods integrated into the second form. The third type, Reincarnation Sharingan and Rinnegan Sharingan, you can choose to open a certain type, or open 2 special types at the same time. Reincarnation Sharingan has all the Tensigan abilities, and when used in conjunction with Reincarnation Sharingan, it will greatly enhance the control of gravity and repulsion. Perhaps it is not difficult to pull a planet out of thin air. Pulling a planet out of thin air? What kind of joke is this? Sasuke was dumbfounded. Closing his eyes, Sasuke carefully felt the current moon power. In the next second, as Sasuke tried to control it, the chakra in his body passed away crazily, and the pupil power was also rapidly consumed. But Sasuke could clearly feel it, and the ball moved. Forcibly pulled by himself. Is this the repulsion and gravitational control of double opening eyes? It's so ridiculously strong. Even now Sasuke feels that as long as he wants to, even the planet Ninja World can be pulled. It's just that it can't move very far. This is also the power of God. The current self, with the gods and spirits, and the blessing of the eyes of reincarnation, is the combat power that can really be called explosive. At the same time, it can also release purple light chakra for direct attack. Raising his hand, a purple laser beam appeared on Sasuke's fingertips, and then shot out in an instant. An explosion occurred in the next second, directly blasting a huge crater on the surface of the moon. Seeing Sasuke's sudden attack, Junmaro and Shigego were stunned for a moment. I don't even understand what Sasuke is trying to do. However, at the moment Sasuke is just experimenting with his new abilities. At the same time, Sasuke also understood that the next most important problem, besides obtaining 10 tails and his own different space, then the most important thing is to enhance the power of Otsutsuki and the power of the new Sharingan, and enhance the power of the pupil, then you are really like a god. Master more special powers. The above are just some techniques worth explaining. The eyes of Sasuke today have too many abilities. Super Insight. Baiin's clairvoyance ability, possessing clairvoyance ability and Sharingan's copying ability are combined with each other. Now Sasuke really can easily master any technique of anyone with just a glance. As long as it is within the scope of the technique, Sasuke can easily master it. There is also the power to transcend life and death, such as resurrecting others at will. Those who were not killed by their own hands, had been dead for no more than a year, and those who had been killed by their own hands, no matter how long Sasuke had brought them back to life. And the price to pay is only that one of Sharingan's Guyu disappeared, and it will be able to recover soon. There are countless abilities like this. Thinking that I have gradually moved closer to the real god. Sasuke feels very excited now. Master Sasuke, where are we going next? Suddenly, when Sasuke was excited, Kimimaro asked. He really didn't know how long Sasuke would remain silent like this, and seeing Sasuke's appearance, he was also very worried, so he asked Sasuke frequently. Sasuke calmed down his agitated heart, then looked up at Kimimaro. Go to the world of the new age, a new world? The two froze for a moment. What does it mean? The Otsutsuki clan has an artifact. With this thing, we can quickly find the people of the Otsutsuki clan, and it doesn't take any effort. An artifact of the Otsutsuki clan. Kimimaro frowned, although he didn't know what kind of thing Sasuke-sama was talking about. But finding Otsutsuki is, if anything, easy. That is to say, this thing can take them and appear directly at a certain location where Otsutsuki is. What will it be? This thing has a very special ability. It can take people through time. Shuttle, time. When these 4 words appeared, both Kimimaro and Chongo were dumbfounded. Is there really such a thing in this world? Shuttle time. Then it means that they can go to the time point when the Otsutsuki clan appeared, and directly deal with the Otsutsuki clan that appeared in the ninja world hands-on? So, No wonder Master Sasuke would decisively reject Naruto's invitation. Because if there is such a thing, then for Sasuke-sama, any delay is a waste of time. But if it is an artifact of the Otsutsuki clan, then it shouldn't be in the ninja world. It should be somewhere in a forbidden place of the Otsutsuki clan. If that's the case, then they just let the Otsutsuki clan know that they are playing this thing. In this way, the Otsutsuki clan can also be attracted. Master Sasuke, let's act quickly. Steal this so-called Otsutsuki clan god crystal. Steal? Sasuke smiled. No, I've already brought it. Saying that, Sasuke took out the scroll, and along with white smoke, the plow, the artifact of the Otsutsuki clan, appeared. And the first second he saw this thing, Kimimaro had some doubts. Is this really the artifact of the Otsutsuki clan? It is clearly a common turtle. But Master Sasuke said it is, so it should be. But why does Master Sasuke have artifacts from the Otsutsuki clan? Has Master Sasuke already been to some forbidden place of the Otsutsuki clan? No need to guess, this thing is already in the ninja world. Looks like it was brought by Kagaya. By Kagaya? Kimimaro nodded. If that was the case, then he would be able to understand. Since it is in the ninja world, being found by Mr. Sasuke is not something worth studying. But now Sasuke is thinking about another problem. If Kagaya didn't bring this thing, who brought it? If Kagaya brought it, why didn't Kagaya use it herself? Is there nothing she wants to change for Kagaya? And isn't she worried about the Otsutsuki clan invading? She can directly use this thing to determine when the people of the Otsutsuki family will appear. As long as the time when the other party appears is determined, then Pai Yi can make better decisions. And more importantly, why would Kagaya bring something as important as an artifact to the ninja world? These questions seem to be only pondered by myself bit by bit. Sasuke-sama, are we going to use this thing now? Kimimaro asked. Sasuke nodded. The plow was only used by members of the Otsutsuki clan. But for the 3 people present, they are all Otsutsuki's people. After all, they are all fused with Otsutsuki's blood. Although he did not become like the Otsutsuki clan, there is no doubt that he has the power of Otsutsuki. Whether it is Sasuke, Kimimaro or Shigego, they can be easily manipulated. Sasuke turns the plow on. Then the passage of time appears. Instantly sucked Sasuke and others in. This moment travels through the channel of time. Chongwu couldn't help but sigh with emotion. It's amazing. There really is such a thing that can travel through time at will. Hearing this, Sasuke smiled. This world may be more exciting than you imagined. Chongwu nodded. If I can master such power, that would be great. Hearing this, Sasuke suddenly froze for a moment. Master this power, etc. Yes, my own god spirit may also be able to. Thinking of this, Sasuke became excited again, joking that it was time control. Travel freely in the long river of time. Such ability, only do not desire to have. And, if we say that as a god, a person with this ability can be called a god. I can easily peel off the blood inheritance boundary from people, and even the power of blood. Then, the ability to manipulate time in Lee can't be stripped away by himself? Even after such a reminder from Chongwu, Sasuke thought of many things. Hidan's immortal body can also be stripped out and integrated into himself. Immortality, coupled with high-speed regeneration, plus easy shuttle time. This can be called an invincible god. Although there is still some distance from Sasuke's goal, the Almighty God, the invincible god is also the goal of Sasuke's efforts. Maybe I should turn back the time, go to Hidan, and get his immortal body. But now the journey through time has begun. Don't worry just yet. Speaking of the world of the new era, Sasuke is also curious about what it will look like. After all, the current world has been completely changed by Sasuke's influence. I don't know what the future world will be like. Dissipates with the passage of time. Sasuke and others appeared on a mountain. Breathe the fresh air coming out of your face. Although it has the blood of the Otsutsuki clan, it can survive even without air. But being able to breathe air makes people feel more comfortable. Do we travel through time? Kimimaro spoke with some uncertainty. But Sasuke smiled and nodded. That's right. Welcome to the world of the new age. New era? Kimimaro froze for a moment, still couldn't see it now. Surrounded by forests, it seems that there is no difference from the former ninja world. At this moment, Sasuke ignored the 2 of them. Instead, he concentrated on looking at the artifact plow of the Otsutsuki clan. Shuttle time. Greed flashed in Sasuke's eyes. Raise your hand to activate the spirit of the gods. Whether it is a person or an object, the gods and spirits can use it. However, when the god spirit touched the plow, the wall formed by time arrived. It's like an insurmountable moat, cut off Sasuke's god spirit. It's not that Sasuke's kami spirit doesn't work, it's that the kami spirit never seems to be able to cross the river of time and touch the core of the plow's power. If you can't touch it, you can't peel it off, and if you can't peel it off, you can't fuse and grasp it. Sasuke frowned. Most of the previous joy was extinguished. Sure enough, it's not that easy to master the time. But what if there was a way to break the barrier of time? The only way Sasuke can think of now is to break through the barrier of time. Use time against time. If I have also mastered the ability of the time type, can I break through the time barrier of the plow? Thinking of this, Sasuke had an idea in his mind. It's not that there are no people who master time, isn't there one in this new era? The man known as the Shame of Otsutsuki, who possesses the strongest ability, was indeed easily defeated by Otsutsuki. Find that guy, strip off his ability, and then fuse it into your own body. Wouldn't it be okay to do so? After all, the ability to go back in time, falling on the shame of Otsutsuki, is too speechless. Master Sasuke, where are we going next? Shigego said, if he remembers correctly. Sasuke said they were looking for the Otsutsuki clan. Apparently there's going to be another big fight soon. So Jongwoo also seemed a little excited. After all, after gaining new power, Jongwoo hadn't tried it yet. What is the current level of his own combat power? Jongwoo also wants to experiment. However, Sasuke pointed in the direction of Konoha. Although times have changed, the location of the village will not change. Go to Konoha and have a look. Hearing this, Kimimaro nodded, but Shigego was a little puzzled. Didn't you say you want to find Otsutsuki, a family? Master Sasuke. No need to look for them, they will come to Konoha. All we have to do is stay in Konoha for a while. And at this time, I can also fully control my own power. Although Sasuke's strength has increased a lot, this enhancement makes Sasuke feel like he has not fully mastered it. It is okay to have stronger power, but every power must be perfectly controlled as much as possible. Only in this way can we go further and fly higher in the future. Face Dao Shi, Jin Shi, and Pu Shi in the current state. Although there seems to be no big problem, once any unexpected changes occur, the result may be different. Otsutsuki Toneri has been overshadowed by Katsuki for 10,000 years. So, Sasuke is not careless. Any little possibility must be killed in the cradle as much as possible. I see. Shigego nodded. A group of 3 flew in the direction of Konoha. The present time point is already in the time point of the new era. The new generation of Konoha shinobi have graduated from Genin school. And the new Chunin exam is about to start. Coming to the gate of what is now Konoha village, the 3 of Sasuke, without much pretense. It's just that all 3 of them wore inconspicuous clothes. Just walked in like that. But Sasuke was a little surprised before he went in. Konoha village is not written on the gate of Konoha. But United Ninja Village Headquarters, Konoha. Seeing such a title, Sasuke was stunned. And the original New Age seems to have changed as well. Originally, in the new era of ninjas, although the 5 major countries still maintained a united state. But it's not as good as it is now, it directly became a joint ninja village? Is this what Naruto did? All the villages are directly unified. In the United Ninja Village, the villages of Konoha, Cheyenne, Rock Shinobi, Cloud Shinobi, Sand Shinobi were cancelled. All became members of the United Ninja Village. Isn't this the Great Unification in disguise? It's just that it was still in the Great Unification of the period of enfeoffment. Sasuke laughed. Naruto, to fight against the Otsutsuki clan that may appear at any time. The best way to unite the entire ninja world is indeed unification. But Naruto's soft-hearted unification actually has little effect. Now all that vassals will follow Konoha's orders because of Naruto's strength. But what about after Naruto's death? The peace in the ninja world won't last long, and war will break out again. This is an eternal truth. In the end, it will become a mess. Then it is better to unify all ninja villages directly, and then concentrate the power of all ninjas to resist Otsutsuki on the one hand. On the other hand, it can make peace relatively lasting. Obviously Naruto doesn't want violence against the other 4 powers. Coming to the main street of Konoha, there is a huge change between the present and the former Konoha. Just like in the original book, a lot of technological products have appeared, and the times are advancing, and the power of ninjas seems to be gradually replaced by technology. From Sasuke's point of view, This means that the war between the commons and the ninjas has begun. When technology begins to develop, ninjas cannot gain the absolute upper hand. The people below will try to resist. After all, there are only a few ninjas with superhuman strength. And the minority can quickly displease the majority. Walking on the streets of Konoha, suddenly Sasuke saw something very surprising. Crest. The crest of the Uchiha clan. Sasuke was stunned. Has the Uchiha clan been re-established? When Sasuke was surprised, several people came out from the door with the Uchiha family crest. From the aura on their bodies, it can be clearly sensed that they all belong to the bloodline of the owner Uchiha clan. Sasuke was dumbfounded. How long is this? Has this guy, Itachi, passed on the family line and revived the Uchiha clan to this extent? These Uchiha people also have the same newborn Sharingan as Sasuke. Sasuke can clearly feel this. Even one of the little girls seems to have a high concentration of blood, and at Genin's age, he has already activated the 4-hook Jade Rinnegan. At the same time, the girl looks familiar. It looks like Sarada. Sarada, your bento. As he spoke, a woman dressed as a housewife came out of the door. She looked very virtuous and submissive. Sasuke is stunned. This woman doesn't know him at all. Who is she? Zuo Liangna. Why does she still appear? Didn't she marry little Sakura? Could it be that my future self still can't escape the palm of little Sakura, and was really given by little Sakura? Dad? Dad? Sasuke is confused. Is she calling herself? Wrong. Even if I am his father, at my age, how could the other party recognize him at a glance? There may be some hesitation. At this time, Itachi, who was going home not far behind Sasuke, stared at the 3 Sasukes beside him. Then he hugged Sarada, who came running. Today's task also has to work hard. Dad. I learned the great fireball technique, let me show you. When Itachi smiled. Next time. As he spoke, he stretched out 2 fingers and poked lightly on Zuo Liangna's forehead. Alright. A little disappointed, Zuo Liangna turned and left, seeming to be ready to do the task. That's right. During the period in the picture below, there are endless tasks to be done every day. And this hand Itachi came behind Sasuke. What are the 3 sneaky people doing here? Curious about Uchiha? It seems Itachi has noticed them. Although Sasuke hid his breath, he didn't intend to be sneaky, so he didn't hide his figure. It is also normal to be discovered. Look back. Sasuke looked at Itachi, who had reached middle age. He looks very mature and stable, and at the same time, although he is getting older, he feels like a gentle and reliable uncle. You. The moment Itachi saw Sasuke, the thing in his hand fell to the ground directly. Sasuke. Sasuke. Sasuke, these 2 words may have long been in the precipitation of time. Forgotten by most ninjas. But here, in Konoha, especially where the Uchiha clan is today, the weight of these 2 words is not generally surprising. Almost at the moment Itachi said, all the people around looked in Sasuke's direction. But in the next second Sasuke just opened his eyes lightly. An invisible pupil power erupted. In an instant, these people shook their heads again and returned to normal. Itachi was stunned for a moment, and then asked suspiciously, Sasuke, is it really you? Sasuke nodded. Ah. Itachi looked at the people around him, they were just the power of the distinguished heavenly gods only. However, they ignored our conversation for a short time, and the stimulation of the word Sasuke. Distinguished heavenly gods, Sasuke said calmly. But Itachi couldn't calm down. Sasuke has one of Shisui's eyes which he knows. But the question is, why would Sasuke use distinguished heavenly gods? Correct. This guy Sasuke has the ability to deprive others of their abilities and then bestow them on others. In other words, it can be given to others, and of course it can be given to oneself. After thinking about it for a moment, Itachi turned around and suddenly found that Sasuke's appearance seemed to be the same as when they met for the last time. So many years have passed, and Sasuke has not changed at all. With the blood of the Otsutsuki clan fused, is the lifespan so terrifying? While Itachi was thinking, Sasuke laughed instead. It seems that, brother, you really care about reorganizing the Uchiha clan. In this short amount of time, so many clansmen have been bred. At this rate, it won't take many generations for the Uchiha clan to return to their previous situation. Hearing this, Itachi blushed. At the same time hurriedly explained, no, Sasuke. Those were not all my children just now, I just have 3 children. The others are other clansmen, their children. Other tribes. Hearing this, Sasuke was stunned for a moment. After the Uchiha clan was exterminated, are there any other clansmen? It seems that you don't know yet, but it doesn't matter. I will explain to you slowly, and you also come to meet your sister-in-law. Maida. Let's go. After waiting for you to come back, let's go home and have a look. Sasuke froze for a moment. Go home? Itachi nodded. Although you were not there when the house was being built, I also built your room and your living area together. Saying that, he pulled Sasuke and prepared to enter the house. Chongo and Kimimaro were also brought in by Itachi. Go home. Sasuke looked at the layout in front of him, although the outside looked no different from other houses in the village. But inside it is indeed a world of difference. Some of the modern furniture and furnishings are preserved, but at the same time, the former home is restored. Sasuke smiled. At this moment, this woman named Mida is looking at Sasuke with complicated emotions. My husband's brother, is this the person? The most genius in the ninja world is known as the evildoer who will never appear again from now on. Half angel half demon monster. Sister-in-law, you. Sasuke just opened his mouth and the other party screamed, and rushed to the upstairs room. Itachi smiled. Don't blame her, your name has mixed reviews for the entire ninja world, so. It doesn't matter, there is another problem. Sasuke looked at Itachi. Is that Sarada at the door your daughter? When Yan Itachi nodded. Ah. I used your name to commemorate you. I thought you wouldn't come back. It turned out to be like this. What about the other clansmen? Sasuke felt it just now, although the Uchiha clan now has less than one family member. But this situation has already surprised Sasuke. 10 households can develop into a very large family in just a few generations. Itachi is about to start talking. There are a few clansmen who were originally Orochimaru's experimental subjects, in order to do Sharingan's experiments. They survived by luck, and after the ninja war, they were released by Orochimaru. And some other clansmen, who originally belonged to the clansmen with poor talent and had not awakened Sharingan at all, were expelled from the clan a few years ago. But for some reason, Sharingan suddenly evolved. Even they awakened Sharingan, and they were discovered soon after the Ninja World War. While talking, Itachi glanced at Sasuke. In fact, he suspected that the sudden evolution of Sharingan might have something to do with Sasuke. After this part of the clan was discovered, they were quickly sent to Konoha, so the Uchiha clan has been re-established. Hearing this, Sasuke nodded. I see. The Uchiha clan was exterminated, and some clan members were indeed left behind, which is not impossible in the ninja world. It's just that I didn't expect it to change so much. Without herself, Zuo Liangna still appeared, instead became Itachi's daughter. But this seems to be good, and Zuo Liangna is happier than in the original book if she can get a complete father's love. The current Konoha village has become a joint ninja village, and the Uchiha clan has been re-established. It seems that everything has changed a lot, but it seems to be not bad. When Yan Itachi smiled. Now there are no 5 major countries, and the 5 major countries have completely integrated into one. Integrate. Sasuke frowned. The 5 daimyos of the 5 great countries have directly united to form a country, and the major events of the country are decided by the votes of the 5 daimyos. At the same time, people are elected as the prime minister, and the prime minister is responsible to the 5 daimyos. And the 5 major ninja villages will naturally become the joint ninja village. Now Konoha Hokage became Naruto, he is 6th Hokage. At the same time, he is also the commander-in-chief of this year's United Ninja Village. 6th generation. Naruto in the original book is a 7th generation item. And now passing Kakashi directly, making Naruto a 7th generation item, which is not bad. Sasuke, you don't know, Naruto, he has been working hard to unite the entire ninja world all these years. Now he has become the #1 ninja world. Ninja villages, big and small, have gradually accepted Naruto's proposal, and at the same time, the country has gradually merged. It won't be long before the ninja world will be unified. And Naruto is going to surpass Master First Hokage Hashirama to calm the troubled times, and Naruto may create a prosperous world. Sasuke was a little surprised to hear this. Naruto actually did such an earth-shattering event. To unify the entire ninja world, if it is really possible, it will indeed be the first person in the ages. Even Hashirama's pacification of troubled times can't be compared with it. Itachi spoke with great interest, and seemed to want to say something else. But Sasuke didn't want to listen anymore. Asked, how long is the Chunin exam? Itachi was stunned for a moment. It's only been 2 days. Just these 2 days? If that's the case, you don't have to wait too long. The Otsutsuki clan is coming, so I have to prepare myself. Sasuke, are you going to meet someone else? Everyone misses you so much after you leave. Miss me? Sasuke was stunned. Who else wants to see me but you? Hearing that, Itachi sighed. Master Tsunade. Tsunade? That woman thinks of herself? What are you kidding? Where is she? Itachi thought for a while. Master Tsunade seems to have gone to the Mist Shinobi department of the joint ninja village. In other words, in Kirigakure. What are you going to do in Kirigakure? Forget it. Since you are not in Konoha village, if you want to see yourself, come back and talk about it. Chunin exam in a few days, she will come back. Meeting. Then let's talk about it then. Said Sasuke got up and walked into the room. Apart from my room, is there a training ground at home? Unexpectedly, Sasuke was the first to ask about this. Itachi smiled. Of course, we have the Uchiha clan. How could there be no place for practicing in Uchiha's home? Very well. Then don't bother me for now, I'll go and relax. Relax. Itachi looked at Sasuke who was walking towards the training ground. Is training a relaxing activity for Sasuke? Both of you, hide near Konoha, or in Konoha village, so that no one will find out. If something happens, I will call you as soon as possible. Hearing this, Junmilu and Chongwu both nodded. Disappeared from Sasuke's house in an instant. Come to the small yard behind the house. Although the yard is not too big, it is barely enough. Two avatars raised their hands and appeared, and then the avatars and Sasuke sat cross-legged together, and the three of them emitted a purple light. At the same time, along with the enchantment that suddenly rose all around, the three of them were shrouded in it. This is to prevent Sasuke's chakra from leaking out. At the same time there is still time. Sasuke is going to practice Zigwang chakra. The power of this chakra should not be just that. Purple light chakra can be used to condense all kinds of weapons, so in other words, it can actually condense things like shields for defense. Even like the sand of magnet style, it can entangle and bind the enemy. The form of its energy, the power of the explosion is astonishing. So there are still many practical ways to use Zigwang chakra, but Sasuke has not discovered it yet. It may even be used as a golden light spell to cover the surface of the body, producing a strong attack and defense boost effect. Or in the shape of chi, control the purple light chakra to present various forms to attack. These are not something that can be done immediately, and it also takes a certain amount of time to practice and master. The reason why only 2 shadow clones are allocated to assist in cultivation is because the amount of purple light chakra is only enough for 3 people to use together. Thinking of meeting Sasuke's cultivation requirements, if Zigwang chakra is divided into too many parts, then there is no way to complete the training project that Sasuke imagined. So 2 shadow clone is enough. Looking at Sasuke who came back not long ago and started to practice again. Itachi paused, wanted to say something but smiled helplessly. No wonder the former Naruto always said that Sasuke's talent is amazing, and even more amazing is Sasuke's perseverance. Now it seems that Sasuke's perseverance is indeed amazing. I haven't been back for so many years, and the first thing I do when I come back is to practice. Turning back to the room, Itachi was going to arrange a small welcome party for Sasuke. Of course, this is only a welcome within the Uchiha clan. Anyway, Sasuke is still a member of the Uchiha clan. Sasuke may not care about others, but for the Uchiha clan Sasuke still cares more or less. In the evening, Sarada came back from the mission. Talking to 3 companions, walking in the direction of home. The difference from the original book is that in the current Konoha village, Sarada also has the same tribe. Although the other 3 companions who are also genin, Sharingan's talent is not very good, it can only be regarded as average. But even so, relying on the characteristics of Sharingan has become the best among genin. This situation is frustrating. Now it's not just Konoha, but the entire ninja world seems to have degenerated. This is the change brought about by the advancement of technology. People rely more on the power of technology, and naturally they will reduce their dependence on the power of ninjas accordingly. Not to mention the common people, even the ninjas have begun to rely more on the power of technology. Saying goodbye to her companions, Sarada returned home. I'm here for the night. Mom was busy preparing a big meal, and when she heard that Zuo Liangna came back, she urged her to change her clothes. After all, performing tasks outside, the body must be full of sweat after a busy day. Zuo Liangna nodded and went upstairs, but when she passed the door of the room that her father was never allowed to enter. I found the door of the room was open, and there was a long white coat hanging inside. Zorana is dumbfounded. His own father, Uchiha Itachi, absolutely does not allow anyone to enter this room. Except that he himself would go in for cleaning once a month, neither he nor his mother could go in. This room was prepared by Dad for his younger brother, although the other party never came back to live in it. But Dad still stubbornly left this room to the other party. Originally, Zuo Liangna wanted a bigger study room, but she couldn't realize it. Zuo Liangna looked at the hanging white long coat, and she swore that her father never had this style of clothes. And according to Dad's personality, he would never allow this room to be used by others. In other words, could it be? Zorana quickly rushed to the room on the second floor. While changing into new clothes, I was thinking, could it be my father's younger brother who never came back? Came back? Only then will the room be used. Zuo Liangna combed her hair in front of the mirror of the dressing table. However, in the next second, he looked towards the courtyard below from the corner of his eye. A figure is in the courtyard. To be precise, it was 3 figures. Purple streamer flickered continuously on the 3 figures. And there is actually an enchantment package on the periphery. Seeing this scene, Zuo Liangna poked her head out and stared at the people below. In an instant, the enchantment disappeared, and Purple's streamer also instantly dissipated. 2 of them became white smoke and disappeared. There was only 1 figure left, and the other party suddenly turned to look at Zuo Liangna. The moment their eyes met, Zuo Liangna was stunned. She stared blankly at Sasuke. Good, handsome. Wait, Dad's younger brother, shouldn't he be a mature middle-aged uncle? How could he be so young and handsome? It doesn't look like it's much older than me. Is this guy really Daddy's brother? Just as Sasuke was about to say something, Zuo Liangna realized that her hair hadn't been combed properly. Retracted directly, very regretful. Damn, why did I only comb half of my hair? If I do it all, maybe I can leave a better first impression. Zorana was annoyed, but Sasuke was confused. How? Scary yourself? Scared when you look at yourself? The Uchiha family sitting around the dinner table in the evening. Itachi sits at the main seat, Sasuke is on the left, Mida is on the right, and Sarada is next to Mida. The 4 looked at the sumptuous dinner in front of them. Itachi looked at Mida very gently. Thank you, you prepared such a sumptuous meal for us. Mida smiled lightly. As Itachi's wife, this is her duty. However, Itachi would still express his gratitude every time. Doing so will make Mida feel Itachi's attention and gratitude. There is no dissatisfaction or contempt towards her just because she is a full-time common housewife. Even if it is a common thing, it is very meaningful for Mida to be valued by others. No need, isn't this my younger brother's return? That's why I ordered 2 dishes. Itachi nodded and looked at Sarada at the side. Sasuke, this is my daughter Sasuke. Sasuke is your uncle. Uncle? My father actually really introduced it like that. Uncle? This uncle is too young. He looks only a few years older than himself. Dad. Are you serious? This kid looks about my age. Is he really my uncle? Itachi nodded. Daddy won't lie to you. It's true Itachi never lied to Sasuke, but Sasuke looked at Sasuke in front of her, and she had such a handsome face. And his age is not much different from his own, so he really is his uncle. It doesn't matter what her name is uncle, the key issue is that she has a blood relationship with her, which means that the beautiful clothes she specially picked today are for nothing. The mother on the side seemed to see the reason why Zuo Liangna was a little unhappy. Smiled. Zuo Liangna, call someone. Uncle. Uncle good. Sasuke is not used to being called uncle for the first time. Nodded. Itachi glanced at Sasuke, who was not used to it. Go. It's rare for you to come back, so enjoy the dinner at home. Seeing Sasuke moving his chopsticks, Itachi continued, since mother and father died, how long has it been since we sat at the same table and ate together, Sasuke? You are wrong. Sasuke looked up at Itachi. Even when mom and dad are around, you're so busy with tasks that you don't have much time to go home for dinner. Hearing this, Itachi was stunned for a moment, then smiled wryly. That's true. Mida and Sarada watched the conversation between the 2 without any sense of disobedience. It is obvious that the age difference between the 2 is almost 20 years old, yet they are able to communicate and exchange without barriers. Zuo Liangna felt that this was really incredible. Watching the 2 say this, they are really like brothers. Sasuke looks young, but he seems to know his father very well. The same dad knows the same about Sasuke. With a look and a movement, they seem to know what Sasuke is thinking. Etc. Sasuke? Isn't this name the name of that legendary monster? Wait, Dad. You said his name is Sasuke too. The two who were talking suddenly heard Zuo Liangna get up and ask in surprise. Sasuke frowned. Also called Sasuke? Are there many people named Sasuke in this world? Why? Are there many people who call me by this name? Sasuke asked. However, Zuo Liangna was a little speechless. Didn't this guy pay attention to some rumors? Don't you know that the most perverted genius in Konoha's history, the guy who can be called a monster, is named Sasuke? The teachers occasionally mentioned that in terms of talent, the guy named Sasuke is unmatched. Hearing what Sasuke said, Sasuke touched his nose. It must be himself. Although his talent is due to the system. But now Sasuke feels a little embarrassed to be brought out and said so exaggeratedly. Itachi looked at Sasuke, who seemed a little embarrassed, and smiled. Sarada, I never told you that the genius your teacher said is the person in front of you, Uchiha Sasuke. Zuo Liangna, who was about to tell how scary Sasuke is, suddenly heard Itachi's words. The whole person froze for a moment. Turning his neck very stiffly, he looked at his father. Dad. What did you just say? Itachi smiled. That's Sasuke. That's Uchiha Sasuke. My brother. What? Zuo Liangna turned her head and looked at Sasuke, who was drinking soup, in surprise. Impossible. That person who is often mentioned by the teachers is him. How could it be possible at his age? He was a classmate of the teachers when they were young, and it is impossible for uncle to be him at his age. Regarding Sasuke's age, Itachi is also a little curious. Sasuke's current appearance has not changed from the beginning. Is the blood of the Otsutsuki family really that powerful? But Itachi didn't want to tell Zuo Liangna about this matter. After all, if you know Otsutsuki, you may know about the crisis in this world. It would be nice if these things were left to these people to deal with, and it would be nice for the next generation of ninjas to be responsible for the carefree growth. About this question, I'm sorry that Dad can't explain it to you. I knew it was a lie. That's Sasuke. Sasuke looked at Sasuke. He is quite strong, but he was suppressed by Master Hokage at the same time. Master Hokage, do you know? She asked Sasuke. Sasuke froze for a moment. Then you should also know that Master 6th Hokage, Uzumaki Naruto, is known as the strongest shadow of all ages, and is even recognized as the strongest in the ninja world. That Sasuke suppressed even such a man. You can't be him. Zuo Liangna said, looking at Sasuke, who seemed to have no strength. Maybe he can't even beat himself. How could it be that Sasuke? It just happened to be the same name, and besides, the teachers never said what Sasuke's last name was. Why not spread Sasuke's full name, Naruto, of course, to protect the current Uchiha clan? If the ninja world knew that Sasuke was from Uchiha, then the Uchiha tribe who survived Konoha would probably suffer. Sasuke smiled. It's impossible. Sorry to be myself. But Sasuke didn't want to say anything, just looked at Zuo Liangna. Do you like this person very much? No, I shouldn't say that I like him. I haven't met him before. I can only say that I look forward to it. A man who can make Master 6th Hokage, who was suppressed so hard in his student days. If I'm still alive, I might be able to teach Master 6th Hokage. I'm aiming to become the 7th Hokage. So this Sasuke is also someone I look up to and respect. Sasuke nodded. I see. You are also a ninja. Certainly. Then how is your strength? This question. Sasuke glanced at Itachi. Better than your father anyway. Itachi smiled helplessly, comparing himself with Sasuke. There is no comparison at all. Dad? Dad is just a ninja with a clerical job, and it seems that you are no different. Civilian. Sasuke was stunned for a moment, and Itachi smiled. I am now responsible for recording and sorting out the daily tasks of ninjas, as well as the settlement of rewards. Itachi, Uchiha's genius, now works as a clerical worker. Sasuke looked at Itachi speechlessly. Is this the retirement life of a genius? Even her own daughter didn't know what a terrible man her father was. Itachi's current strength has surpassed that of Shadow. Among the current 5 cages, except for Naruto, I am afraid that it is impossible for other cages to defeat Itachi. Good guy pretends to be a pig and eats a tiger? Speechless. I just wish there was more time, home and family. Itachi seemed to understand the meaning in Sasuke's eyes. Then he opened his mouth to explain. Dad, ninjas are the same no matter what job they do. I won't look down on you just because of this kind of thing. You are still the greatest dad in my heart. Hearing this, Itachi smiled very happily. Sasuke also laughed. Zuo Liangna is a very sensible little girl. You're about to take the Chunin exam. Hearing that, Sarada nodded. Of course, I want to become Hokage, just like Master Tsunade. No. It should be said to surpass Tsunade-sama. Sasuke nodded. In this case, you need to become stronger. Of course I know this. My current Sharingan has reached the second gem, and I will be able to open the third gem soon. Although my talent is not as good as that of Sasuke, I am the strongest among the Uchiha clan. Forehead. The strongest of the Uchiha clan? When will the Itachi Sanguyu open? Anyway, at Sarada's age, Itachi was already Anbu's ninja, and Mangekyo was about to open. A mirror Goyu Sharingan even said that his talent is Uchiha's strongest. Sasuke sighed. Be with your family, and at least take some time to help your daughter improve her strength. Itachi smiled. I hope Zuo Liangna has a happy childhood, and I don't want her to be the same as us. Shaking his head lightly, does having a happy childhood mean that you don't need to practice specially? Sasuke disagrees with this view. He turned to look at Zuo Liangna. For the sake of calling me uncle, I can teach you a trick. Want to learn? Hearing this, Itachi was stunned for a moment, and Mission beside him was also stunned. Itachi didn't tell Sasuke to Sarada, but he did tell Mita. What kind of existence is his younger brother? An existence stronger than 6th Hokage is willing to teach his daughter ninjutsu. This is simply too good to be true. After these words came out, Mita looked at Sasuke's eyes and Shendu changed, and her favorability directly increased by 50%. You teach me? Are you Jonin? Jonin? Sasuke froze for a moment. Strictly speaking, he is only Genin. That's right, Genin. After all, before the Chunin exam was over, he defected and had no chance to be promoted to Zhang. That is naturally considered Genin. I'm just a Genin like you. Huh. You're just Genin, so what can you teach me? Saying that, Zuo Liangna showed a proud look. Since you are Dad's younger brother, have you opened your Sharingan eyes? If you don't even open your Sharingan eyes, are Shu Ying, I should teach you some skills. Open your eyes? Sasuke froze for a moment. Open. Oh. Not bad. This age has opened your eyes. Sasuke is helpless. It seems that ninjas in the new era have a poor understanding of genius. Open your eyes at my age. If it was their era, it would be called waste, and this era is already called good. What a time difference. Answer my question. Do you want to learn my technique? Hearing that Sasuke uncle wanted to say something else, Itachi suddenly said, Sarada, Sasuke uncle's kindness, you have to accept it kindly. Zuo Liangna, who still wanted to say something, sighed helplessly. Okay. Then learn it. Don't teach me any weird skills, I only learn skills that are helpful to my battle. Heart, personality, you should like it very much. After dinner, I came to the small yard behind the house. Mita and Itachi stood aside and watched, and Zuo Liangna changed into the clothes used for cultivation. It can be seen that he is a well-fed guy, and the clothes are also divided into various styles and functions. Daily use, home use, practice use, pajamas, etc. She was really spoiled by Itachi and turned into a little princess. The technique I am going to give you is escape. Lightning style? Zuo Liangna froze for a moment. Wait, you want to teach me lightning style? Aren't the people of the Uchiha clan all born to master extinction? That's right, but what's the problem? Sasuke was a little puzzled. Zuo Liangna looked at him, speechless. I only know fire style now. You teach me lightning style, I don't need it at all. Don't you know about the chakra attribute? Chakra attributes? Sasuke smiled. I see, I'll help you activate lightning style. Turn on lightning style? What's the meaning? Raise your hand to activate the spirit of the gods. Sasuke directly controls the power, instantly arousing the lightning style in Zuo Liangna's body. In the next second, a subtle thunder and lightning light erupted from Zuo Liangna's body. Before Zuo Liangna could react, she discovered that her chakra could perform lightning-style nature transformation. What? How did this happen? How did you do it? Zuo Liangna is in a daze now. How can she do this? Doesn't chakra's nature transformation require practice to be mastered slowly? Why didn't this guy do anything? Just took a look at himself, and he mastered the lightning style's nature transformation. It was a question Sasuke didn't intend to answer. Instead, go straight to the hands-on demo. Okay. Next, I'll let you take a look first, my lightning style. Raise your hands to make mudras, and speaking of mudras, Sasuke hasn't used mudras for a long time. Chidori. In an instant, Black's thunder and lightning burst out, followed by the sound of thousands of birds crowing. Zuo Liangna was still in surprise when the lightning-style nature transformation was turned on 1 second, and was completely shocked the next second. Black's lightning style? Zuo Liangna also knew some basic information about various escape techniques. It is said in the book that the usual lightning style is mainly blue, and only when special chakra is incorporated into the lightning style will the color change. And this special chakra is actually the chakra that is instinctively or can be integrated into other attributes when performing nature transformation due to individual differences when each person acquires cultivation. Different proportions of chakra are fused with each other, and the attacks formed are not exactly the same. Even if it is the same technique, but it is performed by different people, the power is different. This is the change in ninjutsu brought about by individual differences. And Black's lightning style, in Zuo Liangna's view, is simply extremely weird. Sasuke held Chidori in his hand and gently stabbed at the wooden golem in front of him. Next second, it penetrated wooden golem's body in an instant, and then the lightning style erupted, and wooden golem was completely swallowed by lightning, and the next second it disappeared directly. Even the ground left scorched traces of thunder and lightning. Sarada stared at Sasuke dumbfounded. This technique is called Chidori, and it needs to be used in conjunction with Sharingan. Of course, now at the level of Sasuke, even if he is not worthy of Sharingan, he can easily use it. Lightning style, Chidori. Sarada stared blankly at Sasuke. This kind of. How can I learn it well? Zuo Liangna stared blankly at the position of the wooden golem just now. This wooden golem was made by Dad with special materials and found Tianshan Ant. Normally, no matter whether she uses hidden weapons, kunai, or fire-style attacks, there will be no damage at all. Yet today, a lightning-style Chidori. It actually destroyed this wooden golem easily, and even directly turned it into nothingness. One can imagine how powerful this technique is. What a terrifying power this is. If you want to learn, you will learn. Sasuke said lightly. Zuo Liangna was stunned for a moment. If it was Kamen's lightning style, I would probably be able to learn it. But Black's lightning style is obviously chakra with different attributes. How could I? Let me help you. Help? How can this help? Can it help me learn? You start to try to seal once. Sasuke said lightly, and Zuo Liangna looked at Sasuke with a puzzled face. Even with your help, I'm afraid I won't be able to learn at all. Just try and you will find out. Try? Well, just try it. Sasuke handed over the order of seals to Sarada, and at the same time began to guide the flow of chakra in Sarada's body. Chakra, who controls lightning style with Sharingan, gathers in the hand. Zuo Liangna felt very good at first, but with the emergence of lightning style, the thunder and lightning light of blue-white appeared in Tekken. Thunder and lightning began to surge and make a piercing roar. Seeing the appearance of Chidori's prototype, Zuo Liangna was very excited. But sadly not Black's lightning style. Sure enough, I couldn't learn Black's lightning style at all. However, in the next second, Sasuke's god spirit began to guide the chakra in Zuo Liangna's body to begin to change. Incorporate into the shadowy chakra in lightning style. The color of lightning style starts to change. First it becomes purple, then it becomes red, and finally it changes directly to black. Different colors represent the perfect degree of yin-dun fusion. Black is naturally the most perfect state. Zuo Liangna looked at the group of black lightning in her hand. Although it was small, she could feel a different power from it. This force is very strong, stronger than ever seen. Sarada looked at Sasuke excitedly. It's done, it's really succeeded. Perhaps Zuo Liangna didn't think there was anything special about learning ninjutsu this time. Instead, he was immersed in the joy of mastering the black lightning style. However, Itachi on the side was dumbfounded. Rather than teaching Zuo Liangna to learn ninjutsu, it feels like Sasuke is directly giving Zuo Liangna a certain ability. The same is true for Sasuke. The gods and spirits can deprive others of their abilities, even the power of the blood lineage and bloodlines. Then naturally it means that in the process of stripping, the gods and spirits can control the seized power zone. Being controlled also means that Sasuke can change to a certain extent. This effect was used to teach Sarada lightning style Chidori. It directly changed the proportion of chakra fusion in Zuo Liangna's body, so that Zuo Liangna could easily master the black lightning style. This technique is very strong. I hope you will not insult this technique. Hearing this, Zuo Liangna suddenly calmed down and turned to look at Sasuke. You are very strong. Being able to use such a lightning style ninjutsu is something that even Uncle Jonin can't do. Are you really just genin? Suddenly asked this question, Sasuke smiled, That's right, I am indeed genin. Zuo Liangna still had a look of disbelief. Your strength is actually only genin, and the power of this technique is at least a level. How can you be only genin if you master this level of ninjutsu? Tell me, who are you? Sarada looked at Sasuke curiously. However, Sasuke smiled faintly. I've said it all. My name is Uchiha Sasuke. In terms of strength, I'm indeed very strong. I'm afraid no one in Konoha can match me. Cut. It's just a peculiar lightning style ninjutsu, don't get carried away. If Master 6th generation says so, it's okay, but you. Sarada doesn't believe what Sasuke said, that no one is his match. Konoha's ninjas are very strong, and there are countless masters. How could no one be Sasuke's opponent? Saying it but not believing it, Sasuke was helpless. Chunin exam. Looking forward to your performance. After speaking, Sasuke went directly upstairs to rest. And Itachi looked at Sasuke. Thank you, Sasuke. She's from Uchiha too, so you don't have to thank me for doing this. Even so, Itachi was very grateful. Sasuke's lightning style, or Black's lightning style, this is quite a powerful technique. As a powerhouse, Itachi knew very well that Sarada might only use Black Chidori now, but wait until later. After she is familiar with the Black lightning style, she can use other lightning style ninjutsu to change into Black lightning style. Among other things, just inheriting the Black lightning style can make a common ninja a strong man. Not to mention Zuo Liangna, who already has Uchiha blood. It can be predicted that the alien Zorana will definitely become a pretty powerful ninja. Looking at Sasuke, who had already gone upstairs, Itachi suddenly thought of something. Sasuke taught Zuo Liangna Black's lightning style, perhaps not only because of himself or Uchiha. It's like Sasuke's preparation for Black's lightning style to continue to shine in the ninja world. Sasuke seems to be waiting for something. After he waits, maybe Sasuke will leave. Itachi felt a little sad for a while. He originally wanted to tell everyone about Sasuke's return. But now it seems that it is better to be a little selfish. Before the Chunin exam, it's better not to tell others, but to spend more time with Sasuke. Maybe after the Chunin exam, there will be no more chances. Looking back at Sarada, who was constantly practicing Chidori and playing with Black Raiden, Itachi and Mita both laughed. Itachi couldn't help but want to see other people's reactions. Once upon a time, the entire ninja world was dominated by Black Thunder, in the same era. Not to be precise, at that time all ninjas were trembling under this light. After the Fourth Ninja War, Black's thunder disappeared. The ninja world also returned to calm, but now Black's thunder appeared again, and it still appeared in the hands of his daughter. I don't know what kind of reaction those people will have after seeing it. Should be surprised. Someone inherited Sasuke's Black Thunder. That's right. Zuo Liangna, if you can perform the perfect mastery technique before the Chunin exam, I'll teach you another technique. A technique I created myself. Homemade? Itachi was stunned for a moment. Sasuke's own techniques are quite famous. Lightning style. Discharge. Although Sasuke calls it a C-level ninjutsu, but in the eyes of others, this lightning style ninjutsu is simply the technique of the ruler of lightning style. Mastering this technique can easily control lightning. Lightning style. Divine speed. The first speed in the ninja world. No matter it is lightning, stone fire or rapid wind and thunder, it makes countless ninjas terrified. Ninjutsu Breath of Thunder. That is the ultimate physical technique comparable to 8 inner gates. The point is that it doesn't have any side effects. No matter what kind of art it is the art that ninjas dream of learning. In the early morning, Zuo Liangna put on her newly prepared clothes with a look of excitement. Today is the opening ceremony of the Chunin exam, and we will take care of the 5 ninjas. They are Konoha, Mizube, Ribe, Kazib, and Dobi. All ninjas who are eligible to participate, come together to perform a certain ceremony, and then start the Chunin exam. The exam is not just one day, to the final Chunin exam finals, but it will take 5 or 6 days. Today is just the first day. Sarada wears clothes with the Konoha logo. There is no forehead protector, and the current ninja forehead protector has only one ninja. Ninjas with different chakra attributes will be assigned to different departments for targeted learning. For example, Sarada, chakra's attribute is fire, which is assigned to the Konoha department. And Boruto's first chakra attribute is wind, which is assigned to the wind department. Of course, the ninjas of different departments will only carry out targeted learning and training in the afternoon, and in the morning, they will still be tasked or trained together according to different teams. And different departments, such as the Konoha department, the supreme leader is Naruto, who as Hokage leads the Konoha department of the entire ninja world. Kage Gaara is the Kazibu ninja who leads the entire ninja world. Regardless of the ninjas in that village, theoretically speaking, as long as they are ninjas in the Kazibu, they will be led by relative shadows. For example, among the Konoha Dobi ninjas, there are ninjas with extraordinary strength and rapid progress. You can get Tsuchikage's personal teaching to let him learn more advanced Earth-style ninjutsu. This arrangement is to allow the filmmakers to eliminate the barriers between each other. At the same time, it is also for the complete integration of ninjas. This is a decision made by Naruto. Although he is not very strong as Hokage, fire-style ninjutsu, but Konoha fire-style is not without strong people. For example, Uchiha Itachi. It's just that people who don't have the opportunity to be taught by Hokage personally don't know the person who is responsible for issuing tasks or rewards to common ninjas every day. What a terrible guy. Zuo Liangna went downstairs, glanced at Sasuke's room, and found that Sasuke had just woken up, pushed open the door, and was rubbing his eyes. Wearing white pajamas, the chest is slightly open. The powerful muscles and perfect lines made Zuo Liangna blush instantly. Morning. Good morning, Sasuke uncle. Sasuke yawned and nodded in response, good morning. After finishing speaking, Zuo Liangna fled quickly. Today is an important day for the Chunin exam, and she must not be fooled by beauty tricks. After escaping from home, Zuo Liangna thought about getting along with this young girl these days. The other party was very strange, and didn't do anything all day, just stayed in the yard in a daze. He looked like he was doing nothing, and he didn't go out at all, he was just a standard otaku. But that's fine, my uncle is so handsome, even I can't help it, if only my classmates know about it. I'm afraid there will be no peace in her home. Sarada. Suddenly someone stopped Zuo Liangna. Looking back, it was Daidi, Choji's daughter, a generation of ninjas from the Akamichi clan. She and Zuo Liangna are best friends. Zorarana, today is finally about to start, the Chunin exam, I have been waiting for a long time. Zuo Liangna nodded. Let me tell you a secret, I have learned 2 new ninjutsu. The Chunin exam will definitely surprise you. Oh. New jutsu. What is it? What is it? Akamichi Daidi looked curious. Zorana smiled. Secret. Hey, Zorana is so cunning. What secret? Suddenly another voice appeared. Hearing this voice, Zuo Liangna said impatiently, come out, Boruto, you guys like to be quiet every time. Don't you think it's impolite? Impolite? This is cool, okay. Isn't ninjas supposed to be elusive? The 2 girls rolled their eyes. The protagonist of the new era, Boruto, appears. If Sasuke is here at this moment, he will be surprised. Because Boruto opened his eyes, but his eyes were still blank. This is simply unbelievable. Boruto in the original book has no blank eyes. What he has is pure eyes. But now Boruto rolled his eyes. Of course, the main reason why Boruto rolled his eyes was because of one person. Because Hyuga Neji, as an Uncle Neji, Boruto loves, but is also very strict. After all, he is a genius of the Hyuga family. Like Naruto, he lost to Sasuke, or he never won. So Neji is very strict with Boruto, so that Boruto rolled his eyes at a young age. Among the ninjas of the new era, opening their eyes at the age of 12 is simply a genius among geniuses. Hey. Boruto, have you finally opened your eyes? Daidi looked at Boruto in surprise. Boruto's secret was discovered, and he looked at Zuo Liangna proudly. How is it? Zuo Liangna, I have opened my eyes too, now you are not only your Sharingan prestige. Zuo Liangna waved her hand indifferently. Useless Boruto, even if you open your eyes, you are still not my opponent, I have learned a very strong technique. A strong technique? HMPH. What about the strongest technique? It's nothing in front of me. Wait and see. Zuo Liangna shook her head and left directly, leaving Boruto feeling a little helpless. Are you that confident? I opened my eyes, but this guy didn't respond at all. By the way, Zorana, did your father teach you your new technique? Daidi asked. Zuo Liangna shook her head. No, my uncle called me. Uncle? Dai froze for a moment. Does your father have any other brothers? Zorana nodded. Yes. Hey, is he very strong? Is it strong? The opponent claimed that Konoha had no one to match him. But Zuo Liangna felt that this was bragging. It's okay, in short, he knows very well, and now I have learned it. I'm so envious of you, Zorana. My father taught me some ugly tricks. If Choji knew that someone commented on the Akamichi family's art, no matter how good looking and ugly it is, it would be difficult to describe it. Must be speechless. At the beginning of the Chunin exam, Sasuke also finally walked out of the house. Let's go see some acquaintances today. After all, it won't be long before Otsutsuki is coming. While there is still some time, it's good to watch these old friends. The first person to look is Hyuga Neji. After asking Itachi about the former Konoha 12 Shaoqiang, their current situation, Sasuke came to a very special place in Konoha, the residence of the Hyuga clan. Today's Hyuga Neji is already the patriarch of the Hyuga clan. As a branch house and clan reform, the branch house system was abolished, and all members of the Hyuga clan enjoyed the same treatment. And the patriarch no longer looks at blood, but at talent and ability. Hyuga Neji became the current leader of the Hyuga clan. They are training the members of the Hyuga clan. Suddenly Neji rolled his eyes and looked towards the door. Sasuke's figure appears here. At this moment, Neji was stunned. Uchiha Sasuke. For Neji, no matter how long it has passed, he can still remember this face. What's more, this face has not changed, still as young as that time. Seeing the person in front of him, Neji was stunned for a long time before slowly opening his mouth. Is it really you? Sasuke nodded. Why don't you know me? People from the Hyuga clan around looked at Sasuke curiously. Whose kid is this? Why did he come here suddenly and talk to the head of the Hyuga clan like this? This guy turned out to be so big, but a few people from the Hyuga clan came toward Sasuke, as if they were planning to throw Sasuke out. However, Neji stopped them in the next second. Retire. Today's practice will stop here temporarily, and I will give you a day off today. Have a holiday. No way. The always strict patriarch decided to let them go. Is it because of this guy? What is the origin of this brat? He can make even the patriarch make an exception. These guys are still surprised, but Neji is impatient. Why don't you want to rest? Then continue. Who doesn't want to rest? I want to rest a long time ago. Now is not the age of war, so there is no need to work hard for cultivation. A large group of people from the Hyuga clan ran away in the blink of an eye. There are only Sasuke and Neji left in the huge courtyard. Sasuke came in and looked at the house of the Hyuga clan. The style is very good. I didn't expect you to become the patriarch. The first sentence was this. Neji smiled and showed a relaxed expression. Sasuke came back to tell the truth that he panicked at the first time. After all, what Sasuke will do, Neji doesn't know and can't guess. But after listening to Sasuke's first sentence, it is clear that Sasuke has no malicious intentions. So Neji just rushed to relax. There is no way, after all, the ninjas nowadays are not enough to watch. I can only serve as the patriarch to supervise these lazy guys. Saying that, Sasuke also nodded. The times are advancing, but ninjas seem to be regressing. Neji froze for a moment. Maybe so, he didn't know what to say about this question. The ninjas of the new era were indeed not as strong as before. I still remember. Sasuke came to the edge of the steps in front of Neji and sat down on the steps. The ninjas of our era, no matter who they were basically cultivating desperately. Cultivate as soon as you have time. Basically you don't have any time for emptiness. But ninjas these days seem to enjoy life more. Seeing Sasuke being so casual, Neji also sat down directly, looked at Sasuke with some doubts, and at the same time answered the words. Yes. In this era, there is no war, even the 5 great powers are integrated into one, and there is no external threat. It seems that it is not impossible to enjoy life. Live in sorrow and die in peace. Saying that, Sasuke glanced at Neji, but didn't say anything after that. Because Sasuke found a cute little ghost. Your son? Sasuke looked in a certain direction. Neji froze for a moment, then smiled. Ah, my son. As he said that, Neji raised his hand and waved to the kid who was hiding and watching them secretly. The kid is about 5 or 6 years old. It looks very similar to Neji when he was a child. If there is a difference, it is cuter than Neji. Whose son are you with? I married Tianshin. Neji and Tianshin, this is a good couple. Sasuke, congratulations. Thanks. What's his name? Neji glanced at the kid in his arms. Hyuga Ji. I hope he flies in the sky like the wind. Said that Neji looked at Sasuke. I'm coming back this time, don't you plan to leave? Sasuke shrugged, stood up and patted the dust off his clothes. No. I came back just to take a look, and there is a high probability that I will leave. Saying that, Sasuke laughed at himself and said, I'm not used to life like Konoha. After finishing speaking, Sasuke would not leave without turning his head. And Neji watched the back of Sasuke leaving, very puzzled. This guy hasn't changed at all after all these years. It seems that he will not age at all. Is this guy immortal? But this is not the point. Uchiha Sasuke has returned to the village. This news, for Konoha. No, for the whole ninja world. I am afraid it is quite shocking news. Hokage must be notified as soon as possible. I don't know how long Sasuke will stay when he comes back, so let Master Hokage come back as soon as possible. Naruto probably looks like meeting Sasuke, and at this moment Sasuke came to the park where he used to stay. This time Sasuke didn't hide his chakra. An inexplicably powerful chakra fluctuation suddenly appeared in Konoha, which directly alarmed Konoha's Anbu ninja. At the same time, the strongest Lilac came to check immediately. Not good. Such a strong chakra wave. I haven't felt this kind of chakra fluctuation for a long time, but it doesn't seem to be Lord Hokage's breath. Who is it? Lilac headed for the park. Next to him is a team of genin. Teacher. What's the matter? Lilac looked serious. There may be enemies invading Konoha. This chakra wave is too strong, maybe already comparable to Master Hokage. The three new genins were dumbfounded when they heard what their teacher said. Comparable to Lord Hokage's chakra fluctuations. How can it be? And why are there enemies all of a sudden? When he came to the park, Lilac froze in place the moment he fell. Sasuke, sitting cross-legged by the lake next to the park, is throwing stones into the lake. Yo. Long time no see. Xiao Li. Familiar voice, familiar face, familiar dress. Xiao Li stared blankly at the person in front of him. You are. You are. Sasuke. Jun. Sasuke smiled, remember? He glanced at the three little ghosts behind Xiao Li. Have you also become a guide Jonin now? You are quite capable, Li. Said Sasuke looked back at the lake in front of him. I really miss it, when I used to practice here. At that time, in order to prevent fire style from causing a fire or something, practice on this lake. At the same time, it seems like I'm fighting you for the first time here, right? Saying that Li was sure, it was 100% Uchiha Sasuke. Sasuke, why? Why are you still like this? He was referring to the fact that Sasuke's appearance hadn't changed at all. However, Sasuke did not explain the problem. When someone else comes, who are you? Lilac froze for a moment, feeling the sound of the rushing wind. This is Li. Are there any enemies? Sai, who descended from the sky on a white bird, appeared beside Li. Sai glanced at Sasuke by the lake. You are. Factory. The power of Sai's super fake animal painting has improved a lot. Hearing Sasuke's voice, Sai was silent for a few seconds, and then suddenly opened his mouth wide. Sasuke. As the one who used to be the 7th Madara, and also the replacement of Sasuke. Sai is no stranger to Sasuke. He even secretly felt helpless many times, and he just became such a monstrous substitute. He thinks that Sai has good talent, but compared with Uchiha Sasuke, it is simply the difference between the stars and the sun. The opponent's light completely covered him, and he couldn't even find a trace of himself. Under such circumstances, Sai naturally has to work harder to become stronger. Although I don't expect to surpass Sasuke, at least try not to be so weak. Now seeing Sasuke Sai's heart is complicated. He looked at Sasuke in front of him, feeling a little surprised at the same time. Because Sasuke in front of me is too young. It's a bit outrageous to be young. This is completely no different from the time of the 4th Ninja World War. If he remembers correctly, although the strength has become stronger, but the words are still the same as before. Sasuke complained, but Sai was taken aback for a moment. He was just too surprised and didn't speak. What do you mean talking less? There's someone else coming. But this time it wasn't an old friend. It's a group of Anbu's ninjas. Mr. Li, Lord Sai, you are also here. Where is the enemy? Anbu's ninja quickly looked around and quickly locked the target on Sasuke. Stranger, powerful chakra waves. As Anbu's ninja, the first reaction is naturally to draw out the weapon. At the same time, send a signal so that more Anbu ninjas can come to support. Sai tried to stop them, but these Anbu ninjas were pretty quick. The flare has been taken out and ready to launch. It was too late to stop it, and it seemed that there was no way to hide the fact that Sasuke had returned to Sleepy Leaf. At this moment, Sasuke raised his eyes and glanced at these Anbu ninjas. The reaction speed is much slower than before. It took so long to arrive. Sure enough, even Anbu's ninja has become weaker. Sasuke sighed, and after this operation, Sai and Xiao Li suddenly found that all the Anbu ninjas who came around seemed to be frozen. And this time the 3 genin kids hiding behind Li Lok looked into Sasuke's eyes. Teacher, he. His eyes. Both Li and Sai looked at Sasuke at the same time. Suddenly, the two were also dumbfounded. Because of Sasuke's eyes, Sharingan is good, and they all know it. However, in Sasuke's eyes, the 8 rotating jades make people feel a sense of terror just by looking at them lightly. What a terrifying look. 8 Tomo, is this still Sharingan? The two of them were full of doubts, but they thought about Mr. Uchiha Itachi, and now the Sharingan also has 5 Tomo. So it is obviously not too inconceivable that Sasuke has 8 hook jades. However, why the Uchiha clan suddenly experienced such a change is somewhat unclear. Sasuke, what did you do to them? Sai asked worriedly. Don't worry, it's just a small illusion, temporarily immobilizing them. Speaking of which, the current Anbu ninjas can't even dispel illusions of this level? Too weak. Sasuke shook his head helplessly. He hadn't even used distinguished heavenly gods yet, he just used a simple illusion. It's really disappointing that a group of Anbu ninjas can't move. The 3 little ghosts hiding behind Li Lok looked at Sasuke, who made so many people immobile with just one glance. Is this the power of Uchiha? So strong. Just relying on illusion to immobilize these people. Is this guy from that village? Li Lok glanced back at the 3 brats. He is also a member of Konoha, so go back first. Don't tell anyone what you saw today. After sending away the 3 little devils, some ninjas came one after another. Most of them are unknown ninjas, but this type of ninja can be fixed as much as there are lieutenant commanders help. No problem at all. And as time went by, Akamichi Choji, Yamanaka Ino, Nara Shikamaru, Inazuka Kiba, Neji, Tenten, and even little Sakura. They all arrived one after another, but Hinata did not arrive. Looking at the once immature faces of Konoha 12, now each of them has become mature and stable. And the childishness on his face faded away, and what appeared instead was a sense of reliability. The little ghosts who once needed to be protected by others have now become the existence to protect others. You have all changed a lot. Sasuke couldn't help but sigh with emotion. And the people who should be feeling emotional at this moment are Shikamaru and the others, right? Shikamaru didn't expect that Sasuke's first sentence would be, "We are the ones who should say that. Why haven't you changed at all?" Shikamaru's memory is quite good. Others may feel that the memory is a little fuzzy, but Shikamaru doesn't. He clearly remembered the time of the 4th Ninja World War. Sasuke's appearance is almost the same as now, there is no change at all. The years seem to have left no traces on Sasuke's body. Sasuke. Little Sakura looked at Sasuke, a little excited at first, but soon regained her composure. After so many years, she is no longer the little girl who fell in love with her at the beginning. You card. Did you find the Otsutsuki family? I didn't know what to say for a while, but little Sakura knew that Sasuke left in the first place to find the Otsutsuki clan. After walking for so many years, being able to come back again, does it mean that the Otsutsuki clan was really found by Sasuke? And with Sasuke's fighting power, I'm afraid the opponent should be killed after being found. I guess I found it. Sasuke smiled. Don't worry, I will tell Naruto what I found when Naruto comes back. It's up to Hokage to decide what to do then. Hearing this, Shikamaru nodded. I have sent your message to Naruto. I believe that after he sees the news, he should come back as quickly as possible. However, at this time, he should win over some ninja villages who are going to join the Ninja United. Maybe it will take a little longer. Oh, that's it. Sasuke shook his head indifferently. It's okay, it's still early anyway, just come back and meet me before the Chunin exam. Do you want to have a meal together now, old classmates? Have a meal? Of course there are no problems, although Konoha still has a lot of work to do, but Sasuke's matter is the top priority. One must know that once the man in front of him erupts, he may be able to raise the entire Konoha to the ground in an instant. So Shikamaru directly agreed, okay. Let's have a meal together. Our current genin hasn't been together for a long time. Unacceptable. Chunin exam qualifiers, in the forest of death. Akamichi Daidi was stomping her feet angrily, and Sarada at the side was a little puzzled. What's wrong with you, Daidi? Dai looked very upset. I'm about to start the exam today, but my father came home unconscious from drinking yesterday. I didn't buy the special strategic reserve snacks that I promised to prepare for the exam. Strategic reserve? Zorana sighed helplessly. That being said, it was rare for her father to come home yesterday smelling of alcohol. Or his own uncle brought it back. There's nothing about uncle though, the smell of alcohol. It seems that my dad lost his way to find your dad yesterday. Did dad drink? Shikadai also sighed. What a coincidence, did my dad go too? Post frowned. As the next generation of 12 Shaoqiang, they are now gathering together, discussing what happened yesterday about their adults coming home drunk. What's wrong with them? Is it because of our exams? We are so happy, and we have to party and drink together. Jing Zhen was a little speechless. If this is really the case, then dad and the others are going too far. Shikadai doesn't think so. Because my mother was abnormally unresponsive to Shikamaru drinking yesterday. Even took good care of the whole night, if it was the same as before. If you blow it away with just one fan, it will kill you. Going home drunk like that is courting death. However, the abnormality of this point made Shikadai decide that things are not so simple. Has dad ever had a situation where he has to drink and even mom agrees? Shikamaru and 6th Hokage had a rare time to drink a little bit last time, Shikadai thought back. As a result, after returning home, I slept at the door all night. Even Hokage is like this. What kind of person is that, who can? Let me tell you, Zorana has learned a new technique. And it's super powerful. Today's everyone's exam, Zuo Liangna, will blow you away. Dai Dai on the side was showing off, although she was showing off Zuo Liangna, but it was the same as showing off herself. Zuo Liangna was a little anxious. Didn't Dai Dai stop talking after talking? It doesn't matter, anyway, the exam has already started, let's take them down first, to increase your morale. Zuo Liangna looked around. If it was just Konoha's ninja, of course there was no problem. But the key question is, there are ninjas from other villages in this Chunin exam. These guys are looking at themselves one by one now, and they are not very friendly. As the Uchiha family, this kind of blood successor limit family has been missed by people. Coupled with Daidi's publicity, they will definitely be targeted after the exam starts. The first test is very simple. It is to go through the forest. There are many traps in the forest. Avoid these traps and reach the destination successfully. Even if it is passed. If you put it in the previous exam, for Sasuke and Genin in their era, although it would not be as simple as playing a house. But out of 10 common Genins, 5 were able to reach the finish line smoothly. For Genin without much talent, hidden weapons and traps are what they major in. So, avoiding traps or something is simply not too simple. The exam begins. The ninjas of the 5 divisions all started the mission. The ninjas from other villages also set off one after another. Sai, who was waiting at the finish line, covered his head. I drank too much wine yesterday, and now I'm still a little dizzy, really. Looking up at the forest ahead, there was a series of sounds. Sai shook his head helplessly. This year's Genin is too weak. While Sai was talking, suddenly the next second. Zzz. A strong chakra wave suddenly erupted in the forest, and then Black's lightning fell instantly. Crack. Seeing the moment when black lightning flashed, Sai's drunkenness disappeared in an instant, and he immediately woke up. He looked at the remaining black lightning in the sky. This is Sasuke's lightning style. Sai rushed into the forest immediately, but what appeared in front of his eyes was a huge log pile, most of which was destroyed by lightning, and Boruto in front of the market fell to the ground. Behind Zorana's hand was flashing Black's lightning. Sai looked at Zorana in surprise. The black lightning style just now is. Zorana consumed a little too much chakra and was panting when she suddenly heard Sai's voice. She raised her head. Sensei. No. Can't you use ninjutsu? Hearing this, Sai shook his head. It can be used. The black lightning style you used just now, could it be that person taught you? That person? Zuo Liangna was a little surprised. Does this title refer to her uncle Sasuke? As Hokage's right-hand man, that man actually called him, and as soon as he saw black lightning style, he seemed to know who taught him it. Is your uncle so famous? My uncle taught me, my dad's brother, who just recently. I know who he is, and I know his origin, no need to explain. Sai let out a sigh of relief. I never thought that one day I would be able to see again this Black Sliden. Hearing this, Zuo Liangna was stunned. Why did her tone feel like the black lightning style was very meaningful? Use this technique well. Not everyone is qualified to learn this technique, and can still master it. It's really enviable. After speaking, Sai left directly, and continued to return to the role of examiner. At this time, Boruto stood up. Such a strong lightning style, Sarada, can you teach me? Zuo Liangna is not in the mood now. If Boruto hadn't insisted on being cool just now, she wouldn't have revealed her secret weapon in advance. But judging from Sai's reaction just now, his black lightning style has a lot of background. It seems that I have to find an opportunity to ask, what is the origin of this technique of my own? Doesn't the uncle mean that this is just a C-rank lightning style ninjutsu? AC level ninjutsu is nothing to be concerned about. But Sarada thought there was nothing worth caring about, but it had already reached Shikamaru. Look at the information sent by the Anbu ninja. Sasuke actually gave the black lightning style to Sarada. And this little girl has actually learned it, she's so talented. Shikamaru smiled. Lightning style, discharge. Although it is AC level lightning style ninjutsu in name, the actual effect is far more than just AC level ninjutsu. Of course, there is nothing special about the power. The level of lightning style nature transformation mastered by the caster himself determines the power of the technique, but this technique can only control lightning. It can be regarded as a technique that becomes stronger when it becomes stronger. If you can understand lightning style nature transformation, the power is comparable to AJ level or even S level ninjutsu. It is not difficult. Not much to say about the qualifiers. Except that because of Boruto, Zuo Liangna used the lightning style discharge in advance. Except for causing a relatively large commotion, everything else is similar to the situation in the original work. And after the exam, back home, Konoha Xiaoqiang of the new generation. Very curious too. Father, do you know Black's lightning style? Shikayo asks his father, Shikamaru, who just came home. Shikamaru was not surprised. First put down his clothes, then walked over and sat down cross-legged. Why are you suddenly interested in lightning style? Our family's secret jutsu is no worse than other ninjutsu. Of course I know this, I'm just curious, lightning style still has black. On this point, if you carefully read the introduction to the basic 5 escape ninjutsu, you will know. Shikamaru briefly explained the lightning style situation, but Shikayo obviously wanted to know that wasn't it. He also heard from Boruto that Mr. Zuo was surprised when he saw black lightning style. As if seeing some rare treasure, Mr. Sai, who has always been calm and serious, expressed surprise. This in itself is something worthy of their little devil's attention. Shikamaru looked at Shikayo's expression and knew that the other party was not satisfied with his answer. What you want to ask is the origin of black lightning style, or who used to use black lightning style, right? Shikayo nodded, he just wanted to hear this. Using black lightning style ninja, there used to be many titles. Maybe if I tell you his names directly, you will know what kind of existence that is. Just say nicknames? Well, the name can be wrong, but the nickname can never be wrong. Shikayo was also very curious. According to his father, there was obviously a ninja who used the black lightning style and was very powerful. So much so that even talking about this person, even the father seemed to have a dignified expression. Ninja World's #1 speed black lightning. Most genius. Just these 2 titles directly stunned Shikadai. #1 in the ninja world. Super speed. This means that the opponent has the fastest speed in the entire ninja world. Based on Black's lightning style, is it faster than Cloud Shinobi Village's lightning style chakra mode? Hey. You still know this, it seems that you usually know things quite comprehensively. Shikadai curled his lips to find out if he just went to the library to look it up. Since you know lightning style chakra mode, it's easy to understand. That guy's speed far exceeds lightning style chakra mode. Far more than the. Shikayo thought about many adjectives, but he didn't expect his father to say that. This also means that the opponent's speed is basically unmatched. It's amazing, I don't know what his technique is called. Lightning style, extreme speed, clam? The name is too random. This technique has 2 modes, one is to control the body according to one's own will. 2 modes? Shikadai was stunned for a moment, can one technique still play so many things? How many modes are there? The second type is called Blast Thunder, which does not need to be controlled by oneself, but relies on the body's instincts, and reacts directly the moment the enemy makes any movement. Because the thinking of the brain is skipped, the speed is unimaginable. Without brain thinking. How is this possible? Can such a thing really be done? Shikadai froze in place, and seeing him so surprised, Shikamaru also found it funny. Why? I think it's incredible. This is not the strongest lightning style of that man. Another ninjutsu. That's really scary. While talking, Shikamaru looked at Shikayo and stopped listening at all. Thinking about the previous things was enough for him to be surprised for a while. I don't plan to say any more. And now, almost similar dramas are more or less being staged in the homes of the new generation of 12 Shaoqiang. Some small acts are deceptive. However, Zuo Liangna came out of Dai Dai's house, recalling Dai Dai's father's words. The ninja world. The most genius, isn't that the guy named Sasuke? Then Hokage-sama. But he doesn't look a few years older than me. How could he be in the 10th generation of Mr. Hokage? That guy might not have been born at that time. Zorana didn't know whether to believe what these grown-ups said. But if you don't believe it's all fake. Dai Dai's father seems to seldom lie, it shouldn't be fake. When she got home, Sarada opened the door and looked at Sasuke, who was wiping the Kusanagi sword. Today's technique is too crude. 35% of the chakra was wasted, but less than 20% of its power was exerted. Unqualified. Sasuke was talking, but Zuo Liangna didn't know what Sasuke was talking about. You came to see me for the exam today. No, I've been staying at home. Then what did you mean by that? Literal meaning. Clam? Does this guy want to say that even though he didn't go to see his own exam at home, he discovered the mistakes he made when using the technique? Are you kidding me? The exam venue is outside Konoha. Not even a blind eye can see that far. Anyway, Sasuke has already said, as to whether to change it, believe it or not, this is Sasuke's business. Sasuke packed the Kusanagi sword and got up to go out. Where are you going? Zuo Liangna asked instinctively. Sasuke smiled, to meet an old friend. Do you want to go together? Ah. Although Zuo Liangna was a little curious, she still had to continue the exam tomorrow, so she couldn't be distracted at this time. I'm not going, I want to rest and prepare for tomorrow's exam. Tomorrow is the flag scramble exam. After the end is the final of the Chunin exam. This is very important to Zuo Liangna. After tomorrow, the 5 shadows will be there, and she must take advantage of this opportunity to perform well. Lay the foundation for becoming Hokage in the future. Forget it. Sasuke opened the door and left. It disappeared in the blink of an eye. Zuo Liangna, who watched Sasuke disappear, was shocked. It's so fast. So fast, even those ninjas in Anbu. Are far from reaching this level. At this moment in Konoha's park, Sasuke came to the lake and sat at, waiting for Naruto, who came back after traveling all night. Naruto will arrive in a few minutes. Naruto flew over Konoha. Boruto, who was doing nothing on Hokage Rock, happened to see this scene. Dad. What are you doing when you come back suddenly at such a late hour? It's fine to rush back, if you don't go home first, doesn't he know how much Xiaokui misses him? What a disappointing man. Boruto was a little angry, so he got up and jumped off the Hokage Rock, ready to settle the score with his father. And at the moment by the lake, Sasuke didn't look up, and Naruto, who was floating in midair in front of him, slowly appeared in the next second. It's really you. Sasuke, haven't seen you for a long time. The moment the voice fell, Naruto gave Sasuke a big hug. But, pushed away by Sasuke, don't be so nasty. Although pushed away. But Naruto didn't get angry either, instead he smiled. Sasuke. You said at the beginning that the real surprise will be when we meet next time. I didn't understand what you meant by that. Now that I think about it, I understand that you seem to have expected this day long ago. You are the same as when you left, nothing has changed at all. Naruto still looks exactly like Sasuke in memory. Can't help but feel a little emotional. Time seems to be frozen on your body. Hearing this, Sasuke looked up at Naruto floating in front of him. To be precise, it's not that time is frozen, but that I travel through time. Travel through time? What's the meaning? Naruto frowned. Sasuke, you said you were looking for the Otsutsuki clan, but now you appear, does it mean that you have found the Otsutsuki clan? Hearing this, Sasuke stood up slowly. No. I'm still on the way to find the Otsutsuki clan. And now that I'm here, do you understand what I mean? Still looking for Otsutsuki, but back to Konoha. Naruto's expression instantly became extremely dignified. You mean, people from the Otsutsuki clan are in Konoha? No. It's not the Otsutsuki who are in Konoha, but will come to Konoha. Hearing this, Naruto looked at Sasuke very seriously. Sasuke never joked like this. When are they coming? Probably just a few days. Of course, I'm not very sure, but there are 8 or 9 points. 89 points is already quite a possibility. Why didn't you tell me sooner? These few days, Naruto can't make too many preparations in a few days. What's the use of telling you sooner? To deal with the people of the Otsutsuki clan, the ninjas of Kamen will not only be unable to help, but will become Lulu instead. Sasuke, you haven't been in Konoha these years, you don't know the current development of scientific ninja tools. Naruto may become a very strong scientific ninja tool in the future, but it is not enough now. Sasuke glanced at Naruto. You have Rinnegan, you should be very clear, as long as the so-called scientific ninja tools are still using chakra, there is nothing worth noting at all. Facing the Otsutsuki family, they can easily absorb any chakra attack, even if the scientific ninja has the power to destroy the world. In front of the Otsutsuki clan, it's just a bigger energy group. Hearing this, Naruto was stunned for a moment, and nodded. If the Otsutsuki family can absorb ninjutsu attacks, then the common ninjas really have no effect. All you need is top-level combat power, cage level is just the standard. I see. Naruto looked at Sasuke, so Sasuke didn't tell himself earlier. Because it's useless even if you say it, and dealing with the Otsutsuki family of common ninjas is not only useless, but will become a burden. All that is needed is an elite ninja team, and even this ninja team, to put it bluntly, is not eligible to join if it is less than 5 cage levels. Then it is destined that there will not be many people. Especially in the ninja world of this era, there are too few strong ones. By the way Sasuke, you just said you travel in time. What do you mean? HMPH. Didn't you say that I haven't changed a bit from before? Because after I left, I caught something special and traveled back in time, from the time after the 4th Ninja World War to the present time. Hearing this, Naruto was completely dumbfounded. If that's the case, it's no wonder Sasuke didn't make any changes at all. For them, it is decades, but for Sasuke, it is the difference between the last second and the next second. Shuttle time. Did Sasuke actually possess this ability? Did you travel to this time because the Otsutsuki clan will appear at this time? Sasuke nodded. That's right. So instead of waiting for decades, it is better to come to this time now. With Sasuke's temperament, it is not difficult for Naruto to understand why Sasuke would have such an idea. So I've lived decades longer than you. Sasuke's current me. I'm afraid I'm no worse than you. Hearing this, Sasuke smiled. Don't dream. Even if I give you another few decades, you are still not my opponent. Still as confident as ever, Naruto smiled. However, Sasuke's expression was very serious at this time. Honestly Naruto, I suddenly have a bad feeling. Bad feeling? For the strong, this premonition is often very good. Even Sasuke has such a premonition, which means that the enemy he will face next may not be generally powerful. I will evacuate Konoha's people as soon as possible. I don't think it's necessary. If it's an enemy that even we can't deal with, what's the use of fleeing to Cape Tianya? Without defeating the Otsutsuki clan, the world is doomed. Instead of causing panic, it is better to let these people enjoy the last peace and tranquility, and live comfortably for the last few days. If we defeat the enemy, then they will go on as usual. If we lose, they will just die for 10 periods of time, and there will be no change in the final result. Hearing this, Naruto froze for a moment, then sighed. Also, what's the use of spending time evacuating people if the battle is lost? And this time Sasuke looked up at the sky. Naruto, maybe I made a big mistake. Big mistake? What big mistake? Sasuke sighed softly. Maybe I shouldn't travel back in time to come here. Why? Because of the rules of time, when you play with time, time will play with you. This is the unchanging iron rule. Sasuke looked up at Naruto. If I don't show up, maybe it will be easy to deal with Otsutsuki this time. But now I feel a terrible crisis. Time rules. Sasuke, do you feel something? Maybe it was just an illusion, but Sasuke did feel a terrible aura, as if he had locked himself across the distant universe's starry sky. However, this feeling of extreme unreality, even Sasuke can't figure out why. It was only the sudden thought of the rules of time that made Sasuke have this worry. But after worrying, Sasuke started to get excited. I haven't felt this way for a long time. Even if it does bring any special changes, Sasuke is not afraid. The enemy had better be as strong as possible. And at this moment in a different space. A form of continuous reincarnation, looking at the person in front of him. Who are you? The other party let out a long sigh. Although I don't want to admit it, you are indeed one of the clones I have seen. What kind of reason made you weak like this? It's just horrible. The other party turned around and was stunned for a moment. In a different space. Yishi was firmly nailed to the stone wall. The sword stabs formed by the red light chakra are all over the surroundings. It's all over the ground. Seeing these red light weapons, a wry smile appeared on Yishi's face. Strength is not at the same level at all. The other party is simply higher than himself by an unknown number of levels. The red light chakra can be used so casually, and at the same time, the physical skills have completely crushed himself. That seemingly irresistible force is just like meeting that kid once. Uchiha couldn't help but think of the feeling when he was dominated by Sasuke. It was only a dozen seconds of fighting, and it felt like this different space had completely become fragmented. There are battle marks everywhere. However, what makes Yishi even more shocked now is that the other party took off the mask on his face, and the face that appeared in front of his eyes turned out to be himself? Own face. Yishi didn't understand why this guy looked exactly like him. Moreover, the opponent's face has some kind of special pattern, exuding strong chakra fluctuations. It looks as if some power is sealed in these mysterious patterns. Who exactly are you? Asked in the same way. However, the other party did not respond. Instead, he randomly found a stone and sat down. Although I've said this many times, but I'll tell you again. The other party's dress was somewhat similar to his, but the horns on his head looked even more ferocious. The pupil power that erupted from the eyes became even stronger. Like a big mountain, Kazutaki himself felt as if he couldn't resist at all. Seeing my appearance, you should have guessed something. That's right. Actually, I am you. The moment the other party said this, the Japanese man was stunned. The other party is yourself? What does it mean? Perhaps you will be very puzzled. Why do I say that I am you? Because I am not you at this point in time, but you from another point in time. To be precise, Shu Ying should be regarded as another parallel world. I don't even know what it is. In short, because of one person, and because of an opportunity, I discovered that I can travel to different times and become different myself. Concentrate the power you have at all times on yourself. Travel through time and devour yourself at different points in time. Yishi was completely shocked by such words. Can it still be like this? After thinking carefully for a few seconds, Yishi showed an excited smile on his face. It's no wonder your strength is so strong. Is it because of this? Well, that's right. What you are facing is the concentrated power of me at all other time points except you now. So, you don't have any power to fight back in front of me. Looking at the other party, you said that you discovered this opportunity because of one person. I guess that person's name is Bao Zibo Sasuke. That's right. It's him. This Yishi stood up slowly, but I have to say that you are the weakest among the avatars I have encountered. Now I only need to devour you, then I can fully gather the power from all time nodes. Yishi swallowed silently, although the other party said he was himself, but he was about to be eaten by another individual. Such a thing is also somewhat unacceptable. Once the gathering of power is completed, my form of existence in time will change from a linear form to a point, and it will only exist at a certain point, and will not disappear with the passage of time. In this way, you will be qualified to truly transcend time and space and become a god. The Otsutsuki family cannot forcibly devour each other, so you must sacrifice voluntarily and turn it into a chakra fruit. Now you make a choice. Do you continue to linger like this, or become a part of my power? To be precise, become a part of your own power. Then become gods together. Let's become gods together. If it was said that the previous stance had no thoughts at all, then this sentence now caused his mind to be shaken violently. Uchiha opened his eyes. I only have one request. Take revenge for me and kill Uchiha Sasuke. Don't worry, he is my target. He has the key to become a god. Key? You don't seem to know that that kid has almost endless chakra. This power is the key to becoming a god. Open the door of God. Yishi was stunned for a moment. No wonder he could have that kind of imperial chakra even though he didn't have a tailed beast. I'm counting on you for the rest. As he spoke, he turned into a chakra fruit. He was grabbed by the berserk style and ate it casually. And when the chakra fruit is devoured, the black lines on Yishi's face in the last blank space were also filled. It's a mark of time. Rather than saying that he devoured himself at different times and strengthened his strength, it would be better to say that he got rid of the shackles of time. And once freed from the shackles of time, power is different. It will not be tired because of time, it will not lose strength because of time, and it will not be affected by time. And it exists in time in the form of points, so in other words, a formula can only be considered as real at a certain point in time. Other times, a near invincible presence exists. The different space began to collapse, and Yishi's figure disappeared instantly. And this time outside the ninja world, in the cosmic space. 3 figures also slowly emerged. Is that Kaguya's world? I can't feel his breath, it seems that she is dead. HMPH. The traitor dies pretty fast. Taoshi stood in the void, overlooking the planet below. Suddenly he felt a strange feeling. From the moment he stepped into this starry sky, he felt a terrifying force shrouding it. Even the moment he came in, he felt his body trembling involuntarily. But this feeling is looming. What kind of power does this planet have that can make me have such a feeling? Senior, are we going to start? Suddenly, Pu Shi from the side appeared. Dao Shi just glanced at him indifferently, and then looked at Jin Shi. Let's take a look at this world first. Regather the tailed beasts. Plant the god tree and take the chakra fruit away. Jin Shi nodded, and then swooped directly towards the ninja world. Dao Shi and Pu Shi also followed closely behind. Here comes the trio. At the same time, Konoha and Gokage also arrived. The Chunin exam has finally entered the stage of the finals. But compared to usual, Naruto seems to be more energetic now. One is because he didn't have a good conversation with his son Boruto in the morning. After all, today is the day of the finals of the Chunin exam. The second is because Sasuke told him today, if there is no accident, Yintong will not appear. Chunin exam. The meaning of this thing's existence is not just for picking ninjas. If you really just want to judge whether a genin is qualified as a Chunin, then you really only need to ask their guide Jonin to know. However, the Chunin exam has only one meaning. A show of force. To put it bluntly, it has the same effect as a military parade. The purpose is to deter other countries and other ninja villages. At the same time, the hidden purpose is to tell the common people that ninjas have power far beyond their imagination. Of course, it's enough for the genin to show their strength, if Jonin or Shadow to show their strength. That's not so great if it impresses the common people too much. So, it's enough to be shown by the genins, but also to make the common people have a cult of ninjas. Only in this way can it be convenient for each ninja village to manage, and each country has to form a ninja village to act as a military force. This is the real purpose of the Chunin exam. Choosing a Chunin is just an excuse. But now that the Chunin exam has already achieved the joint ninja village, there is no need to deter other countries. But the Chunin exam has another important function, making money. Yes, watching Chunin exam will cost money. And this is also one of the major projects that the 5 major countries make money at present, just like concerts. Sasuke was in the venue, looking around the auditorium. There was basically no empty seat. There are even many people standing on the outermost periphery in the rear. At least this venue can accommodate more than 50,000 people. It's really not an ordinary money sucker. Joint Ninja Village, the official start of the ninja exam. Next, 5 Kages will give a speech. As the host's voice fell, on the high platform, Naruto, who had already walked up, stood here as Konoha's 6th Hokage. Naruto's prestige in the village is quite high. And since the 5 shadows of the Chunin exam were all present, it was naturally impossible for Naruto to speak alone. Other shadows also came up to make their debuts. First up is 5th Raikage, the Darui, from Cloud Shinobi Village, the guy who finally took over the film's spot. That's all about his strength. From Sasuke's point of view, he is no different from the original one. He may have learned a few slightly more powerful lightning-style ninjutsu. The strength has improved, but it is still too weak. Tangtang Raikage couldn't even fully display the power of the lightning-style chakra mode. After Raikage is Kazekage, and Gaara, who has already sat firmly in the position of 5th Kazekage, seems to be the strongest person among them. Although there is no tail beast, Gaara has a stronger grasp of magnet style. 4th Tsuchikage, Black Soil, is also growing now, and its strength has increased a lot. But as Tsuchikage, Dust Dun, who has not been able to inherit Iwagakure, in Sasuke's view, is still not as good as one generation after another. And Mizukage's candidate was something Sasuke didn't think of. White. 6th Mizukage, Bai appeared, with powerful chakra fluctuations, and his body reflected light like ice crystals. It looks like a woman made of crystal. As soon as Bai came to the stage, the first thing he did was not to say anything, but to keep shooting his gaze at the stands. Seems to be looking for someone. In the next second, Dongbai's eyes met Sasuke's. The two looked at each other. At this moment, Bai felt that the entire noisy venue seemed to have become much quieter. In the players' waiting room, Zuo Liangna and others looked at Mizukage, who had not spoken for a long time. Mizukage, what are you doing? Why didn't you speak all of a sudden? What is she looking at? Why does she seem to be in a daze? However, in the next second Mizukage jumped up and jumped straight towards the auditorium. This action stunned everyone. Chunin did well in the exam, what is going on with Mizukage? However, Bai fell into the auditorium in the next second and came directly in front of Sasuke. Sasuke also appeared on the screen. Bai stood in front of Sasuke, looking at Sasuke excitedly. Master Sasuke, welcome back. As he spoke, he jumped at Sasuke. This scene made all the audience present dumbfounded. Master 6th Mizukage of Mizube Ninja is a very cold woman, not to mention her extraordinary strength. It is rumored that Mizukage's ice escape blood successor limit was once facing Kirigakure when it was attacked by a storm and a tsunami. Moment. Instantly freeze a large sea area. For 3 days in a row, the frozen sea showed no signs of recovery. As a result, Kirigakure, which relies on ships to communicate with other regions, basically lost contact for 3 days. It seems that such a terrifying and cold woman is now crying in the arms of a man like a little woman. Moreover, this man doesn't seem to be more than 15 or 16 years old. Mizukage-sama is already a full-grown adult. What is this? Old grass eats tender cattle. Not to mention that the common people were dumbfounded, and Chojuro, who served as Mizukage's guard, was also dumbfounded. This is not the case when Bai Ping. Compared with the common people, some people who have experienced the Fourth Ninja World War look at Sasuke. The eyes are full of shock. Uchiha Sasuke is back. In that legendary, the scariest ninja ever in the ninja world, appeared again. What Naruto was most worried about happened. Hastily asked the ninja to invite Sasuke and Shiro down, it's too attractive to go on like this. Naruto used the prestige of his Hokage to quickly attract the attention of the court to himself. Sasuke and Shiro were taken away, but Sasuke, who saw this on TV, was completely stunned. That is one of her idols, the strongest ninja in Mizube, Mizunren. However, it looks like they are lovers with my uncle. What a situation. Speaking of my uncle is so young, why does he seem to have something to do with Mizukage? The age gap between the two is too big, and who would have thought that the high cold goddess Mizukage would have such a young daughter? Zuo Liangna felt that the contrast was too great, and the sunpoint was not real. And what is the origin of this cheap uncle of mine? There is such a relationship with Mizukage. Looking at the picture just now, Sasuke seemed helpless. Although I don't know the relationship between the two, but Mizukage is a proper big beauty. Sasuke actually seems a little disgusted and helpless. Sarada, did you see that man that Mizukage-sama was holding just now? He's so handsome. I've never seen such a handsome man. Daidi just took a look at Sasuke, and she has already fallen. At this moment, Zuo Liangna couldn't help trembling slightly. If she let Daidai know that Sasuke is her uncle, and she hadn't told her, it would be terrible. I don't know. I didn't pay attention just now. I was looking at Mizukage-sama. Mizukage-sama is still pretty. While talking, a voice came from outside. The Chunin exam is starting now. The finals adopt a one-on-one system. The winner advances, and the loser is eliminated, but elimination does not mean that the Chunin exam is not passed. Whether you pass is judged based on individual performance. With the Chunin exam officially started, at this moment, on the high platform where the 5 cages were, 5th Raikage Darui, who had just sat down, turned his head to look at Naruto. That person just now, is it really Uchiha Sasuke? In fact, this question can no longer be asked, and Ri's reaction can already explain everything. However, Darui is still a little reluctant to believe, a person who has disappeared for decades. It actually appeared again, and it seemed to be the same as before without any changes. How can one easily believe such a situation? Naruto nodded, it's Sasuke. Why didn't you tell us? Darui was a little dissatisfied, but Naruto smiled. With Sasuke's personality, if I tell you, what can be changed? That's a good thing. Even if they know that Sasuke is back, nothing will change. It is said that it is Sasuke's character, but it should be said that it is Sasuke's strength. Even if the 5 cages knew the news of Sasuke's return, they wouldn't be able to affect the other party. The former #1 person in the ninja world is not joking. Even they have to admit that even after so many years, just a glimpse just now still makes them feel extremely heavy pressure. Darui gritted his teeth. The black soil on the side also looked solemn. Uchiha Sasuke is back at this time. What does he want to do? Hearing this, Naruto shook his head. Don't worry, Sasuke won't do anything, at least he won't do anything to us. With Naruto's words, they are quite at ease. Gaara, who was silent all the time, sighed suddenly. I thought I had already caught up with him a lot, but now it seems that he is still so far away. When Sasuke's eyes swept over just now, Gaara found that his body seemed to be unable to move almost instantly. This situation is almost the same as before, no. To be precise, it doesn't have to be more serious than before. Seeing that Gaara still seems to want to catch up with Sasuke, Naruto smiled. Don't say that, Gaara, you are already very strong. Strong? Gaara shook his head lightly. What did he say that he is very strong? If it was really strong, it wouldn't be what it is now. Okay, the exam has begun. I didn't expect that the first exam will be your son. Naruto looked at the Sand Shinobi ninja who appeared below, Shinshi, and now it should be called Kazib ninja to be precise. Gaara smiled. Shinshi's talent is stronger than mine. And the opponent's name appeared the next second after he finished speaking. Fight against Kazibu ninja Shinki, Sleepy Leaf ninja Uchiha Sarada. Gaara froze for a moment. Is this fate? In the past, he also fought against Sasuke, but now he looks like he is also fighting against the Uchiha clan. But the difference is that his son is not fighting against a pervert like Sasuke. This time, Shinshi should be able to win. I heard that Sasuke seems to have imparted the Black Lightning style to Sarada. Naruto's first words suddenly made Gaara's face suddenly serious. They all know who Sarada is. As Itachi's daughter, Sarada's talent is also outstanding among the Uchiha clan. Black Lightning style. Darui sighed. As the owner of Black Lightning style, he was completely unable to adapt to Sasuke's easy and comfortable use of Black Lightning style. Only one Black Lightning style ninjutsu can be used. It turned out to be as huge as ever. What Black Lightning style did Sasuke teach Sarada? Sasuke's Black Lightning style also has many tricks. The power of several of the techniques they know is quite astonishing. I don't know how much Zuo Liangna can master at this age. The battle begins. The battle between Uchiha and Sandstorm. With Jonin, who is the referee, announces the start. In the next second, Shinshi made a direct move, controlling Sand Iron to attack. Whether it is power speed or the strength of control, it is very strong. Zuo Liangna's physical skills are not very good, and her continuous dodge makes her rhythm completely controlled by Shinshi. It won't take long if this goes on. Once a flaw is revealed and Shinshi catches it, the game can basically be declared over. But this kind of battle without viewing pleasure still makes the audience watch with gusto. Itachi, who was cheering for his daughter in the auditorium, looked coldly at Shinshi who was mercilessly trying to teach his daughter a lesson. Itachi's face darkened visibly to the naked eye. That gloomy gaze seemed to be eating people, and even the Mangekyo Sharingan couldn't help opening it. Fortunately, Kakashi on the side grabbed Itachi. Don't get excited, Itachi. This is the Chunin exam. Itachi came back to his senses. Oh yes. Looking at Itachi's expression, Kakashi was shocked directly. If this continues to develop, I am afraid that Amaterasu will be used directly. Fortunately, it was collected in time, otherwise the consequences would be disastrous. On the field, Konoha's ninjas were all worried about Zuo Liangna. Die. Not good. This guy from the wind department is so strong, Zuo Liangna can't hold on any longer. Boruto's biography. It's too cheating to attack with black things. But don't worry, if Zuo Liangna loses, I will avenge her too. As they were talking, Shikadai and the others were startled suddenly, because of the blow from Shinki in the front. This time Sarada was too startled to dodge. At this moment, Zuo Liangna on the field was in a sluggish state. Damn it, there is no time and opportunity to use Nirvana at all. Are you going to lose like this? However, this moment, Zuo Liangna suddenly heard a voice in her mind. Lightning-style discharge is not a fixed technique, but a method of dominating lightning-style chakra. You can change or control chakra into lightning to attack or defend according to your ideas. Don't stick to a fixed pattern. Whatever you imagine, it can do. Where does this voice come from, and who is speaking? Zuo Liangna didn't know it at all, but at this moment she started to seal. When the last print is done, next second, zzz, Black's thunder erupted instantly. Immediately following the black thunder pillar rising from the sky, the chest Zuo Liangna is wrapped in it. Beep. Shinshi's attack hit the thunder pillar and was unexpectedly blocked. Some kind of magnetic field formed by lightning just restrains sand and iron. With Black's thunder shining out. At this moment, not only the audience, but even the ninjas were stunned. Black's lightning style.
This kid from the Uchiha family actually mastered this kind of bed.
What a color lightning style has never seen. Black lightning style. It is rumored that a ninja once mastered it in the ninja world. Black's lightning power is very terrifying. For the new generation of ninjas, that is just a rumor. However, for the older generation of ninjas, that's not just a rumor, it's something that actually happened. That person, that man, is a monster so strong that even just looking at it, his body will tremble. 5th Raikage Darui stood up straight from his seat. Black's lightning style. Does this little genin girl actually have the talent to use the black lightning style? For Darui, this is equivalent to a bolt from the blue. You must know that Sasuke is most famous for black lightning style. Known as the fastest ninja in the ninja world in the Black Thunder Ninja. Under such circumstances, his Cloud Shinobi Village black lightning style is completely in a very awkward position. After the original Sasuke disappears, Cloud Shinobi Village's lightning style chakra mode and black lightning style have some status again. But now Sasuke's black lightning style unexpectedly has a successor, and the person who inherited the black lightning style is still the Uchiha clan. Even if Zuo Liangna can't reach Sasuke's level in the future, it can't be too bad. I didn't expect that the frightening black lightning style would appear in the ninja world again one day. Gaara said lightly. Now the battle on the field is still going on a large amount of chakra broke out in one breath. Zuo Liangna seems a little lacking in stamina. Although Shinshi was very surprised that the blow just now was blocked by this enemy with lightning style. But Shinshi didn't stop, but noticed that Zuo Liangna chakra had consumed too much, and directly launched the famous blow again. The sword thrust made of sand and iron was launched directly in the direction of Zuo Liangna with lightning style. This blow. Enough to tell the difference. However, Zuo Liangna gritted her teeth suddenly. This guy is so strong, it seems that there is no one who can only fight. Raising his hand to make a mudra, all the pupil power that Sharingan used at the same time burst out. This trick. You need to cooperate with the Sharingan to be able to master it. In fact, it does not mean that you need the Sharingan to be able to master it. If the control over lightning style is strong enough, it can be used even without Sharingan. It's just that lightning style is difficult to control. Don't you see that even if it is as strong as 3rd Raikage, it can only rely on lightning style chakra mode to develop the extremely destructive hell piercing. Not all lightning style chakras are gathered in one hand either. In the final analysis, it is because lightning style is difficult to control, and after opening Sharingan, it will become easier to control the body and lightning style chakra. Because you can see it, so releasing Chidori requires Sharingan. And now Zarana is going to do this desperate fight with the last chakra. But Zuo Liangna may not know that since Kakashi lost Obito's Sharingan, even he has not developed Zidian for the time being. Lightning style, Chidori, or Reikiri, have been lost. And now, the moment Zuo Liangna raised her hand to make a seal, Kakashi was shocked. This is Chidori. If others don't know, how can he not know? He didn't know how familiar Chidori's seal method was. Zzz. Thunder and lightning splashed, and the black lightning style that erupted again shone. And when Black's light burst out, immediately afterwards, the sound of thousands of birds contending sounded. Everyone in the venue seemed to be petrified in an instant, and the common people were just amazed at how amazing this move was. As for the ninjas, the new generation of ninjas feel how strong the chakra fluctuation is, and the power of this move may be extremely amazing. However, the ninjas who survived in the old days suddenly had their hearts beat faster at this moment. This is Chidori. Lightning style Chidori. This kid from Uchiha actually mastered the lightning style Chidori, or Black's lightning style. How is this possible? Who taught her? Mr. Kakashi. No. Even if it is taught by Mr. Kakashi, it is only the Chidori of common, the Chidori of Black lightning style. There is no way anyone can. Zzz. Chidori's contention sounded, and the next second, Zuo Liangna's speed suddenly exploded. She rushed straight forward, but it seemed that due to a miscalculation, she underestimated her own speed. Taking a step forward has already come to the front of Shinshi's sand and iron spikes. The Chidori in his hand has not been raised yet. It looked as if he was about to hit it, and was instantly pierced by the sand and iron spikes. When everyone was stunned, Black's lightning flowed, even if it was only a little bit of aftermath, the sand and iron spikes were easily broken in the next second. The effect seemed to be that Zuo Liangna used her body to break through the blow. The moment Chidori raised in his hand and stabbed in the direction of Shinki. A flash of black flashed by. While Shinshi marveled at the amazing power of this move, she also controlled the sand and iron to form a defense. However, what he didn't expect was that Chidori broke through his method in an instant, blocks Chidori and other heavy attacks. It stopped directly less than 10 centimeters in front of her. At this moment, Shinshi was stunned for a moment. A stream of sand wrapped around Zuo Liangna's wrist, and Zuo Liangna also exhausted her chakra at the same time, and fell to the ground. When Zorana fell to the ground and was temporarily unconscious due to excessive consumption of chakra, the entire venue was silent. The moment just now, what happened was too wonderful. Okay. What a powerful attack, it broke through several defensive barriers in an instant, and almost killed the ninja of the Kazibu. As this Black's lightning style? The power is so terrifying. As long as Zuo Liangna has a little more chakra, I'm afraid the loser will be that guy. Shinshi looked at Sarada lying on the ground, and the referee Jonin announced, Uchiha Sarada is unconscious, the winner. Etc. Gaara spoke suddenly, stepped on the sand from the high platform and walked out, looking at Shinshi on the battlefield. You lost, Shinshi. Shinshi was silent. He lowered his head and blamed himself. Sorry, father, I was careless. No. It's not that you were careless. Even if you use all your strength from the beginning, the final result will not be too different. Her Chidori is not something you can block now. When Yan Shinshi was stunned for a moment. Chidori. The move just now was called Chidori. Back then, I also met opponents like you, but they were all defeated by this trick. Shinshi raised her head suddenly. Her father was also defeated, and also defeated by this trick. Looking at Sarada, who seemed to be waking up on the ground. Shinshi's mood is very complicated. Is this the ninja of Konoha? Is this the person from Uchiha? Zuo Liangna woke up, looked around blankly, and saw that she actually fell down. Did I lose? No. You win. Suddenly Igaara's voice came. Zorana looked up at him. Kage Sama. Gaara nodded at Zorana. With Shinshi ready to leave, but after taking 2 steps, he suddenly stopped and turned around to look at Zuo Liangna. Uchiha Sarada. Congratulations for inheriting the Black Lightning style. Also Uchiha. I hope you don't insult that man's technique. Black Lightning style. Not everyone is qualified to use this technique. After speaking, Gaara took Shinshi and left. Itachi showed a smile on the ring. His daughter is absolutely qualified to use Black Lightning style. Itachi believes that Zorana's talent will not be bad. However, Zuo Liangna is very puzzled now. What does Fengying's last words mean? The man's technique? Own uncle, Sasuke? Is his technique famous? Obviously Zuo Liangna didn't hear Gaara's words just now. Even Kage was defeated by this move. Winner, Uchiha Sarada. Konoha's ninjas won, and they won in an amazing way, and the entire venue was mostly spectators from Konoha village. Everyone started to cheer. Some older ninjas also smiled. Black Lightning style shines again. I hope Uchiha Sarada will not humiliate Black Lightning style. It is said that the new generation of ninjas do not understand humiliation. Why do you say that? The older generation of ninjas watched these little ghosts who grew up in the new era. You brats, do you really think that ninjas are what you see now?
In our era, Black Lightning style is a mountain on top of all ninjas.
And it's still a mountain that can never be surpassed. Hearing that the new generation of ninjas are not convinced, teacher, you are all old calendars, so don't keep mentioning it. What can we say about our new generation of ninjas? We are already very strong. Strong? Boy, I'm afraid you have misunderstood the definition of strong. In our era, your strength is only at the level of genin. Genin? I'm already a Chunin, I'm not a genin. The older generation of ninjas shook their heads. You won't understand. Now you have no worries about food and clothing, and the tasks are so simple that they couldn't be simpler. You don't understand what a ninja should really be like. Cut. The new generation of ninjas disagree. I don't think there is anything. It's just old guys talking to make themselves appear more important, or to attract attention. Think here. Stop talking to these older guys. They always look down on the new generation of ninjas, and seem to think that only their generation is the real ninja. However, this is actually the case. In the era of the Fourth Ninja World War, ninjas were truly called ninjas, and the current ninjas should be called differently. Chakra practitioners. They can only be regarded as people who practice chakra, not ninjas. Next set. Uzumaki Boruto vs. While talking, Zuo Liangna was leaving the stage. Boruto couldn't wait to jump down when he heard his name. A very cool way of appearing on the stage. Just now I watched Zuo Liangna show off the limelight, and now he also wants to show it right away. Using the things he just got, in this way, everyone can pay attention to him, and at the same time, even my father may praise him very well. And at this time, a figure suddenly descended from the sky. Beep. The opponent slammed heavily on the battlefield. Seeing the person who appeared, Naruto's eyes shrank suddenly, and the rest of the shadows were also stunned. The person who suddenly appeared in front of them was able to escape their perception. This shows that this guy is not simple. However, as soon as the other party appeared, he raised his hand and 5 fingers, and the red chakra light came out. Kazuki. A blow from Otsutsuki Kinshiki severely bombarded the playing field. Suddenly the ground rippled like the ripples on the water surface. Boruto looked at the vibrating ground under his feet, and there was a strange distortion. He froze for a moment, and sat directly on the ground with his buttocks. Immediately afterwards, the entire Chunin examination venue collapsed to varying degrees, the ground directly cracked, and the pillars supporting the ceiling above the venue broke. Piece after piece of concrete came down. If it falls in the auditorium, I am afraid that there will be casualties. However, in the next second, the ninjas shot out one after another, trying to block the falling gravel as much as possible. Naruto stood up with a groan. In the next second, he came directly in front of Boruto and protected Boruto behind him. Go. Naruto said, but Boruto behind him was stunned. He stared blankly at the guy who turned the entire Chunin exam venue upside down with one blow. Who is this? This guy's strength. How can it be so strong? On the high platform, 5th Raikage Darui also stood up directly. This kind of dress, could it be a member of the Otsutsuki clan? Black Earth has already made a move, evacuate the common people first. Darui nodded. At the same time, Gaara glanced at Shinshi, emergency S-class mission, rescue the common people, no matter what method is used, one common person must be protected and evacuated as soon as possible. As Gaara glanced at him, she raised her hand and a large number of sand characters erupted from the cracks in the ground, sweeping towards the golden stile in the distance. As Kazekage as Gaara, her strength has improved by no means over the years. A large number of sand characters swept away. Jin Shi looked at the sand rising up under his feet, and stepped on it suddenly. All the sand characters were washed away. However, Gaara appeared beside Naruto with a cloud of sand. Not long after, Raikage Darui and Tsuchikage Black Soil appeared one after another, and even Shiro rushed out. Along with a series of ice crystals, they rushed the cracked walls and pillars to freeze. Snowflakes fell, and Shiro appeared beside Naruto. The Otsutsuki clan. Shiro looked at the person in front of him, who exuded a powerful chakra wave, and this wave was exactly the same as the Otsutsuki style he had felt before. There is no problem with the evacuation of civilians? Naruto asked. Bai on the side nodded, no problem, it's already been arranged. Asking people to take Bai and Sasuke down just now is not just to give them some time to reminisce, but to let Bai arrange the evacuation of civilians. A special safe passage built and strengthened by Bai's ice escape. A shock of this magnitude can still be withstood. Naruto nodded and turned to look at Boruto on the ground. Go Boruto. Leave this to Dad. Hearing what Naruto said, Boruto stood up directly. I don't want it, I can deal with this guy too. Naruto frowned. However, Boruto feels that Naruto is looking down on him, and he is not bad. Look at mine, Dad. I am a ninja too. He said and raised his hand. The ninjutsu prepared in advance is directly released from the scientific ninja tool. Lightning style. In an instant, lightning flashed and swept straight towards Otsutsuki Jinshi. However, Jinshi, who was standing still, didn't seem to intend to dodge. Boruto laughed. Die. However, another figure appeared in the next second, raising his hand to absorb lightning style directly. Boruto was stunned for a moment. What kind of technique is this? Yuanren blocked my lightning style. Damn it. Look at this trick again. Water style, fire style, wind style, earth style. Take turns to release. But the other party easily absorbed it. Otsutsuki looked at Boruto in the peach pose. Snort. Fun way to use chakra. However, this level of power is simply a waste of chakra. Gao Wangsheng Lingzhen activated. A technique that can enhance absorption and counter it back. This is the pupil technique of Otsutsuki peach style. In an instant, 5 different energies erupted, accompanied by a wave of taoshi, flames, storms, thunder, rocks, and flowing water. Swept towards the direction of the stands. The civilians who were being evacuated suddenly became more dangerous. However, Naruto frowned, and the Tail Beast Chakra mode broke out instantly, blocking these attacks with Tail Beast Chakra. And let the attack concentrate on himself. Boruto looked at Naruto, who made a sudden move and blocked all the attacks extremely exaggeratedly. Dad.